when you're at the grocery store.
That's actually pretty cool.
How about that? Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach, unless you haven't paid your phone bill. Then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. NextRoundLive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to NextRoundLive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com. When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Ton of stuff to get to here in this opening segment. Rockstar will be with us momentarily. Right now, Tyler is on the board because, well, I'll let Tyler tell us. Tyler, would you tell us what Rockstar is right now?
He is at Liberty Park Middle School today, presenting to a class of middle schoolers.
He's playing music, right?
It's career day is
I think
what
it's
it
career
is.
day. I thought he was playing it. Is it career day? I thought he was playing a song, like music appreciation.
Well, that could be career day,
Could
right?
be.
I mean,
That's part of his
people
career. Yeah.
aspiring musicians.
Yeah.
Rockstar is at a career day as a speaker. Rockstar is educating your kids out there, America.
Am I correct that EG went with him to document this?
Yes, EG went with him.
Oh, fantastic. We'll have video.
LT
Yes.
was just noticing we're a little light in the seats up here today as we get going.
EG and Rockstar on the speaking tour.
Y'all don't let this 3-hour show we do every day get in y'all's way.
Oh, whatever.
Career day, EG's filming that. Little T is out there with a muffin, handling everything. Social media and Next Round Live. Forrester's here, though, working back there on the back row. There's Forrester. Lunsford momentarily. He and Melton with a meltdown every day. And you know us in front of the camera, and we get going. We got more tickets punched and everything. I'm willing at some point today to talk about Aaron Rodgers as vice president or not talk about it at all because I think it's a big joke. I don't think he actually will be on the ticket. If you missed the story, Robert Kennedy Jr. Says he's open to Aaron Rodgers being his vice presidential candidate. Not that I think Aaron Rodgers will be the worst person on any of the tickets.
No, and I actually, I told you guys, I thought as far as a image makeover, whatever you thought of Aaron Rodgers, I thought he did a pretty good job over the last year. I think he pulled PR in. I think there was a lot of that. But this shows me that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doesn't really care about winning.
Well, his other choice is Jesse Ventura. I mean, we all know
Ventura
he's
was a former governor.
That's right. He's of sane mind these days.
But I was just going to say that I think Aaron Rodgers at 40, his politics would play well in a lot of circles, including a lot of our viewers and listeners.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that agree with the stuff he says. I mean, I don't think it's the worst choice for publicity. I mean, I don't know how many people can identify Robert Kennedy Jr.
Ding, 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 ding. I mean, they know who he is, and they know his name, but right now, in the election terms, he's way down.
Well, here's your problem, too. Like, if you think you're getting Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you're getting, obviously, a public personality that has a lot of credibility as far as what he's done football-wise. But I think he segmented the great Green Bay fans, kind of held them hostage. And the way that thing ended, I don't think it was great. New York really hasn't gotten enough of him because he played, one series. So I don't know if you're bringing in votes for the public personality that it is.
So Lance is giving Wisconsin to somebody else.
You guys are taking this way too serious. I mean, it was a passerby.
Hey, you started it here. I'm just giving you my opinion.
I mean, would you be surprised if he did this? Do you don't think there's any way he'll do it?
100%. I'll be surprised if he does this.
So why do you think
he's got to play football?
He's got to play football. Yeah,
he's got to play football.
He doesn't have to.
I mean, if he was retired,
if he retires, he's dead to me.
Yeah,
he's gone all in with the Jets. The Jets have invested all this in. If his ass doesn't come back and play football, he is dead to me.
We typical Jets, though.
It would be.
Well, you've invested, $40-50 million in this guy. You got to see one series, and if he tapped out to go into politics, first of all, he'd be insane. Nobody wants to get into politics unless they have other options, and I think he's got a pretty good option.
This is so anti-Jimmy America. I mean, the guy would be leaving football to serve as a public servant for your great nation.
No, he's not. He's going to go push his agenda on how he feels everything is.
Jim, that's what every politician does.
I know. But while leaving his people that invested in him, I mean, I'm a big guy that it's not just about you. It's not just about you. It's about the group you're with, right? So crap. Don't let the Jets invest all this capital in all the teammates and everything. You walk out on your teammates? That'd be BS. He would be where I think he was with LT for most of his career. That's where Aaron Rodgers would be for me if he it's okay to entertain this because this is just free publicity for the candidate. That's all this is to get the candidate's name out there. But if he misses one practice over this, Dead to me.
Dead to you.
Dead to me.
Okay, I wonder if you found out, though, that his teammates were awful. And from the top down, he was just getting pushed on.
Yeah. I need Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback.
Yeah.
I need Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback out there if I'm a Jets fan today. A lot to get to, including basketball. More tickets punched last night. St. Mary's, right? That's them?
St. Mary's
That's
Gals.
Jim, yeah.
We decided it was a fox without a tail.
Yes.
They beat the Zags last night. Charleston's in. Oakland's in. Wagner's in. Tonight we got 3 more tickets get punched. But the SEC basketball tournament starts up in Nashville. And we've got a couple of interesting basketball games. I think it's sad that Arkansas is playing on the first day.
Well, of course it is. There's no way that program should be playing on the first day.
I mean, there has been a time when Auburn and/or Alabama has played on this first day. I can't remember. I can't remember Alabama.
Not since maybe on the first day of the tournament. Yes.
Yeah.
But not since they instituted the Wednesday night, basically the play-in games. They don't like to call it that, but it's kind of what it is.
I can't remember Alabama playing. I mean, Auburn was so bad a couple of coaches
they
ago.
lost
Was it not?
Missouri.
I forgot I was going somewhere, and the games were in Birmingham. The tournament was, and it was in the recent past. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. But Rod Gazard had like 42 against Tennessee. I think that was like
remember that.
one of these first days. But somebody texted me last week, and they were like, "You guys need to pull a graphic of the 24 where Alabama and Auburn are double buys." And where they were in like 2013. And I went back and I looked at some brackets and I couldn't find it, but they were like, this is when Alabama and Auburn were like double-digit seeds in these tournaments.
Oh, I remember those days. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. Not too long ago.
I couldn't find them both at the same point. Now, I only looked, I think, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah. I mean, just go back and look at who was before Avery.
Anthony Graham.
Yeah. Nah, he was never double digit. He was never that bad, right?
I bet David Hobbs was.
Yeah, I mean, look, both of them have been bad enough to be on this Wednesday night, but they haven't played the Wednesday night forever.
It's a weird Wednesday night. I mean, Kansas is playing in their underdogs to Cincinnati tonight. Now,
They're sitting 2 of their stars.
Yeah, Hunter Dickinson and Kevin McCullers aren't going to play. And those are your 2 leading stars, your 2 best players. But, man, it's just weird to see Kansas in this tournament as an underdog in the first round.
We'll talk about the SEC tournament with Dane Bradshaw. He'll be with us to start hour number 2. Andy Kennedy, happy birthday, Andy Kennedy. He joins us.
Oh, today's his birthday?
Today's his birthday.
that?
I bet I can pull this, by the way.
He'll join us to start hour number 3. Not just Andy Kennedy's birthday, if you'll notice the graphic. Trent Dilfer's birthday, too. Both,
How
both
weird
head
is
coaches,
that?
same hairstyle, same birthdays.
I would say Andy is 58 and Trent is 53.
I would put Andy.
I'm going
at
58, 53.
You're going
got you.
58, 53. I'm going to say Andy. I'm going to say Andy is 54, 55.
Andy was born in 68.
So I got him at 55. What do you have him at?
It's 56.
56 today. Yeah.
And then Trent Dilfer, I'm going to have him.
Trent is going to be born in 71.
I'm going to put him at 51.
71 or
Dilfer
72.
was born in 72.
Yeah.
He's 52. So weird. How could you art that?
Yeah.
It's one of the weirder
I was
things
actually
I've ever
pretty
seen.
close to
Well,
it.
I'm
You
actually-
are, Jim, yeah. So Lance has
It
a
just-
much longer history, but I'll go ahead and compliment you too.
Don't want to
Jim,
give all my secrets away, but you
Shut
got
up. Did this happen just now?
What are you talking about?
Is Trev Alberts the new Texas A&M athletic
I wouldn't be
director?
surprised.
I'll double check.
That's good news for Alabama fans.
But he leaves Nebraska?
His old school. Going to, in the Big Ten?
I mean, Nebraska, you tell me the last time. They are now on the bubble with Fred Hoiberg when they were squarely in. Football has done absolutely nothing.
I know, but that was Trev's
I think
job.
they're pretty good in basketball, right?
Yeah, but he's hired a good football coach. I
Yes.
think he's got the thing headed up. I would not leave right now.
I mean, what do you think, though? I think he's probably getting twice the money. I mean, if it's all
I
about
don't know
money
about
and
that.
winning championships,
Yeah.
I bet he probably is. I mean, A&M, it's unlimited funds.
It is. It is. It's a much easier athletic director job. And, Greg Byrne last week came back out and said that he was staying at Alabama. Here's the news from Tex Ags. Breaking: Texas A&M will name Nebraska AD Trev Alberts as its new director of athletics. I had missed that in my show prep. Thank you, Mountain Dew 136 there.
Yeah, I didn't know Trev Alberts was in the mix, but
I
I don't
did not
keep
either.
up with athletic director searches typically.
No, unless it's Alabama or Auburn, you kind of pay attention, right?
But I didn't think he would leave Nebraska, Brown, because that was his school. And
I agree.
And you're right. You can go back and you can set the table enough where somebody else can come in and take it over, and you've done your job for your old school, and now you can move on to more money and an easier job. Like, even if Greg Byrne had left, which I don't know how serious he was in the mix or how serious he considered it.
I would bet he was contacted.
But even if he had left, and we talked about this last week, it is a much easier AD job in College Station than it is in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, just on fundraising, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just whatever you ask for, you're going to get.
You don't have to rattle the cages as hard in College Station, Texas A&M, with their booster set up as you would in Tuscaloosa. I would imagine the same things in Nebraska, that Trev Alberts, in this world now where we've got to raise a lot of money, that it's probably an easier job at Texas A&M than it is for him in Lincoln, Nebraska.
It is. Now, here's how I kind of look at it, and I've never been an athletics director. I don't know if that surprises you guys or not. But one of the ways I look at it is how, am I going to have to hire or fire coaches? Like when I take a job, right? So let's start with
it's so funny you do it that way, because for me it's instantly how much money I have available.
Yeah.
And I'm not a money. I'm not a money guy.
I know, but
fundraising is so important now.
As an SEC athletic director, you probably get one football hire, don't you?
Yeah, because you get it wrong. Yeah.
So
now do Scott Strickland at Florida though.
There are outliers, but I mean if you got to admit, if Napier does not work out, Strickland cannot be along for that world,
look,
right?
and I will give you this, is the approval rating for Greg Byrne is through the roof right now. But if Kalen DeBoer completely shits the bed, I think Greg Byrne, it becomes a hot seat.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. But
but now do Nate Oates. He did pretty good there.
No, he did. But I mean, everything's going to be judged on this hire.
It's going to be judged on football. So Trev Alberts, back to Nebraska. He's got Matt Rule, excellent hire. I mean, that was widely regarded as a great hire, and I think Rule has got them headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the mayor, Fred Hoiberg. Nebraska basketball is completely irrelevant. He's at least got them in tournament discussions.
Yeah.
So I think you're in pretty good shape there. So now you go to A&M, you inherit Mike Elko, so that one's not going to be on you. Now you might have
for a while.
Long time. And that's what I was about to say. You reset the clock right there for yourself, right? I get to write Elko out, and it's not my hire. If he sucks, I don't take on any of that water. And I get to fire him whenever the boosters tell me it's time to fire him, and then I get to hire my guy. So you have reset the clock. I would ask you, well, go ahead on that.
No, I was just going to say it's not like Nebraska is looking through the couches for money. But back to that point, I mean, you're going to have to give Elko 3 years.
But that's not on you, though.
I know it's not, but I mean, that's still a long time to wait. I do think there's better opportunities to win championships at A&M.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you guys, what do you think the situation, and I don't know this, but what do you think the situation is with Buzz Williams?
I think he's well liked there, and I think he's a good basketball coach.
I do too, But if they don't make the tournament this year, he's made one tournament.
It's big Thursday for them coming up.
I would agree, yes.
You guys remember, man, was it A.C. Earl and Billy Gillespie? I mean, those were good A&M teams. It seemed like they were on the brink of making Final Four runs. They never did, and Gillespie now at Tarleton State or whatever. I guess A&M's a kind of a difficult basketball job, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, they've underachieved this year too, just like Arkansas has, not to the same degree.
Yeah.
So there's developing news to start off with. Trev Alberts is, according to Texags, and they don't get it wrong, Billy Lucci gets it right every time, is on his way to being the new AD at Texas A&M. And Matt Rule is new at his job at Nebraska. So he's got time to work. The surprising thing for me here, it is a Big Ten move to SEC move. Well,
there are a lot of SEC people that will wave that flag today, won't they?
They will. I mean, that's a pretty well-respected athletic director leaving a Big Ten school and coming to the SEC, where the way you tell me athletic programs in the Big Ten, Nebraska, they're close to the middle tier.
Oh, I think they're a little bit down from that. I think they've got a great fan base.
Well, I think they dropped even more when USC came in. I think USC.
I'm throwing all the new ones in. Yeah. So how many teams? You got 18 teams.
Well,
now
they're probably.
Let's do this. I mean, they're better than Purdue.
Let's do Autograph first, and then we'll jump into this. Our friends at Autograph, and then we'll get more into that. But my point was going to be Nebraska sort of middle tier, and then Texas A&M is near the top when you talk about resources and everything you got in the SEC. So a little neighborhood change there. Our friends at Autograph, the Autograph app, we've all downloaded it. You can too. Remember, use the promo code TNR when you download it. And I was amazed when I downloaded it, just all the cool stuff you get on there. I mean, it throws in stories about your favorite college teams. You choose your favorite college teams that you want to fill your timeline, and a lot of podcasts. So get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app, co-founded by legendary GOAT himself, Tom Brady. This app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, exclusive rewards that you can work your way towards. You can you can get some crazy discount tickets and some limited edition merchandise. It's all there. Autograph hooked up some lucky fans with tickets to Bama and Arkansas this past weekend. That's why they call it the true fan pricing home right there at the Autograph app. If you're ready to join the party, all you have to do is download the free Autograph app today. Use the code TNR, exclusive access right there. All you do is put in your email, throw in TNR, and boom, you're good to go. And there's more awesomeness coming for March Madness. That's the Autograph app. The code is TNR. It helps us out tremendously there when you do that. Now, LT, do your exercise.
No, I was just wondering the packing order, but you're right. I mean, they're more towards the top. I mean, I look at this.
Nebraska is?
I think there's 16 teams that will be in this conference next year, and I think there's only 4 that are complete no-brainers, and that's Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and USC.
Now, are we just doing football here, or are you doing
I'm just doing all sports.
And
basically basketball and football, and I've got Iowa and Michigan State in front of them, but after that, you tell me.
You've got Iowa and Michigan State in front of Nebraska.
Yeah, I think so.
Results on the field, yes, but as far as fan support and everything like that, I would put Nebraska ahead of them.
If my choice were 2 AD jobs are open, Iowa or Nebraska, I'd take Nebraska every day.
In a heartbeat.
And I would say the same with Michigan State.
I would too.
Boy, I don't know. Michigan State seems like there is a lot of money there. There seems like there's a black cloud over everything that goes on there, but it seems like they've got a huge fan base.
Yeah, they got the Rocket Mortgage guy,
Yeah,
right?
they do. I am going to back it
Dan
up,
Gilbert.
Terry. I'm going to put it in reverse. I'm going to back it up, Terry. I think I would go Michigan State. Great support for their basketball program and their football program. You know, they've had to fire some coaches.
Just remember this: they could pay $95 million to Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
That's what I was about to say. And, you know, they've had moments. I mean, Mark D'Antonio had them in the college football playoff. So it's not like that program hasn't been somewhere legitimate in the last decade. Nebraska hasn't.
But that, you know, to me, that's results on the field. I'm thinking what program, what I can have as an athletic director to get better results on the
It's just
field.
interesting because Albert is a Nebraska guy. If this were, say, Greg Byrne, use Greg Byrne, or John Cohen, who's the Nebraska AD and he goes to A&M, I don't bat an eye at this. I'm like, that makes sense. But when it's Albert's doing it, you're like, my gosh, that guy played at Nebraska.
Leaving his school.
Yeah.
I bet there is a story there.
Well, we'll find out maybe what that is down the road. Show also being brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. Brandy's going to tell you about MyBookie in a second. Remember, Alabama and Auburn don't play in Nashville until Friday. Auburn at 2:30, Bama at 8:30. But tonight starts the sequencing of teams that could play Alabama and Auburn in the first game. Vandy and Arkansas go at 6 o'clock tonight. Winner gets South Carolina tomorrow night. And the winner of that game is the one that plays Auburn. And in the second game tonight, Missouri and Georgia play at 8:30. Winner of that game gets Florida tomorrow night. And the winner of that game would play Alabama in the late game on Friday. MyBookie.ag giving you all the numbers on those games tonight.
Georgia is favored 3, Arkansas favored 6 in those 2 games that Jim just mentioned.
That Georgia 3 number that's a skinny number.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because Missouri is 0-18.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that hadn't won a game, and you're basically flipping a coin for that.
Oh, interesting. Missouri's good in Nashville.
Yeah. Meaningful to go ahead.
MyBookie.ag, you can play those games. Make it meaningful to you. MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get that sign-on bonus. Play with it once. Win with it once. And it is yours and yours forever. Not one of those where you got to win a ton of times just so you can make that bonus yours. Win with it once. It's yours forever. All those games I mentioned, in addition to that, all the games leading into March Madness Conference Tournament games right there at MyBookie.ag. The NBA games, PGA Tour at the Players Championship this weekend. You play all that at MyBookie.ag. Do not forget code next round when you sign on. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Code next round.
By the way, tomorrow morning, first game of session 2, or first game of round 2, Mississippi State and LSU at 12 noon right out of the gate. Lenardi says in his latest bracketology, Mississippi State wins that when they're in the tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
they're one of the last buys right now. They're not even in the last 4 in.
so this locks them in. It doesn't get them in. It locks them in.
I
He thinks it locks them in.
Yeah.
I trust Lenardi. I mean, the dude's like 99% when it comes to bracketology as far as like projecting the field of 68.
Of course, that's where he misses them, is the part we're talking about right
I
here.
did think that Mississippi State probably needed that win and then the Tennessee win. Do you guys know where the ACC tournament is this year?
The ACC tournament this year, wait for it.
Because you can get tickets for $5 right now for today's session.
I think the ACC basketball tournament is at I'm going to go, it's in the Barclays Center in New York.
This conference has just kind of disappeared. It's actually at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C.
Oh, it's in D.C.
DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you talk to anybody that grew up in that part of the country, and I know you know some people that grew up there, Jim.
Greensboro, man.
They talk about that tournament in Greensboro like it was.
Yep.
And I went to it when it was
Super Bowl
at the Georgia Dome. And the Georgia Dome was aesthetically a terrible place for basketball.
Yeah.
But just the crowd, that was back when the ACC was the ACC. And there was a major buzz and energy in Atlanta that weekend for that tournament.
Lenardi also says that a Texas A&M win over Ole Miss first game tomorrow night in the second round, that could get Texas A&M in, but they still may need a little luck. They are the last team out of the bracket as we start today.
Soft bubble, man.
Buzz Williams has lived his life in that position.
Yeah,
Do you remember when
Virginia
he was at Virginia Tech? This was him every year.
Yep.
Only place he was never in that position was at Marquette.
But you know,
You're absolutely right. He was always in the tournament.
being
there.
a bubble coach, and Seth Greenberg got him a good gig.
Yeah.
I think he's got a better gig now than he had.
Got a great gig on ESPN. Congratulations to Mark Sears and Janai Broom. They're Sporting News All-Americans. Third team for both of them. Sporting News All-American, both of them first team All-SEC guys. Bruce Pearl says Janai Broom's name will be in the rafters down at Neville
Wow.
Arena.
Now,
that's pretty good company.
Now
dude.
go lead us to a championship.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: if Auburn made a Final Four run this year, you could start. You've got your obvious all-time greats at Auburn, but I think Janai Broom, if he has a massive tournament and they do a lot of damage, he could be one of those names in the mix. Not surprised at all. I had a feeling that Connect's going to be your SEC Player of the Year, but those two guys in Sears and Broom would be in the conversation for third-team All-Americans.
When he says name in the rafters, I'm just going to read you these names.
Well, he's the 14th All-American. Now, listen, it's the Sporting News All-American.
Right.
Are we counting that one? I guess so. I mean, is that just like Mike Bender or somebody just throwing it out? One guy who votes on it?
idea.
What was the national championship in 2004 Auburn claimed? it
The
was a
People's
football.
Championship?
I mean, if you're going to claim that, you can claim Sporting
No, I
News.
think
don't
this is
really claim
legit.
that.
No, this is legit.
Yeah.
Wesley Person, John Meangelt, Mike Mitchell.
First of all, let me apologize. Sears was second team on the Sporting News. Okay, go ahead.
Mike Mitchell, Rex Frederick, Charles Barkley. I've heard of Charles.
Yeah.
And Chuck Person. That's pretty good company there for Janai Broom to be in, if indeed Bruce is right.
Chris Porter's not in there?
He is not.
If Mark Sears goes into the rafters at Coleman Coliseum, he'll
have to look that one up.
He'll likely be hidden by some gymnastic managers.
If I'm serious, I'm like, wait till they build the new arena.
Sarah in T-Town is on line 3.
I'm just saying, Sarah Patterson put a lot of banners up in that Coleman Coliseum. There's a lot of banners that hang up there. You got to really look for the men's basketball ones. There's some women's and gymnastics up there everywhere. You got to find where's the men's basketball banners up. All right, here we go. A lot to get to in the show today. Still to come, part of the next segment. We'll update you on some college football news, including Auburn back on the practice field. And we'll hear from Tyler Booker on just his impressions of the new offense in Tuscaloosa as they take a spring break. But also, I saw this floating around. Somebody went on a journey to some college football stadiums. The 10 worst seats in college football. It's unbelievable pictures.
Is it like behind the restricted view?
and stuff like that?
The 10 worst
And we've
seats.
got the photos?
We've got
All
the
right.
photos. Forrester's pulling them down. We'll do that in the next segment as well. The show being brought to you by our friends at Redmont. It's unbelievable that people can actually sit in these seats coming up. Tell us about Redmont.
Tournament action tipping off on the USA Network between St. Joe's and George Mason. Pour yourself a nice little mimosa, add a shot of the Redmont vodka on the top, maybe a Bloody Mary, maybe a screwdriver to get the college basketball day going. It's available at your local package store, including the Pink Package Place, Beverage Place. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled, locally owned and operated. Ask for it by name. Available in 22 states. It is Redmont vodka.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual swap and drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Back with you on the next round. Hemp Hill brings us the sound of the day today. Here's Tyler Booker over in Tuscaloosa before they took a spring break. He gets asked about the early impressions that he's got of Alabama's new offense and new offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan.
Early impressions of Nick Sheridan. I know it's only been a few days, but what kind of energy is he bringing to practice and how excited are you to get going?
He's bringing a lot of great energy, you know what I mean? So all the Washington guys, I don't think any of them have stopped smiling yet. And so we just love that kind of energy. It's very different, you know, so we had the fun. The fun was in winning last year, and the fun is just coming to work every day now, so we're just enjoying that.
That's Tyler Booker, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. What do you
You never get those, I don't know, these guys seem a little overwhelmed. Like, what if that was a soundbite from Tyler Booker?
Yeah, like I do.
I don't know. I know you guys are a little skeptical after seeing this. I'm a little skeptical.
I mean, yeah, they're making their college coaching debut. Oh, they've already had jobs? Oh, yeah. Okay.
205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
I know. Tell me more about the
Can you play it again, Tyler? I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Cut 7, Tyler.
Cut 7, Tyler. If you don't mind playing it again. I mean, the hum is...
Oh, I know what it's from.
He says essentially, I'm putting words in Tyler Booker's mouth here, that, you know, the games were fun last year, but the practices are also fun this year. Isn't that what you heard him say?
Fun was in the winning last year. Now the fun is coming to work.
That's what I heard him say. Could you play it again there, Tyler? I want to make sure.
Early impressions of Nick Sheridan. I know it's only been a few days, but what kind of energy is he bringing to practice, and how excited are you to get going?
He's bringing a lot of great energy, you know what I mean? So all the Washington guys, I don't think any of them have stopped smiling yet. And so we just love that kind of energy. It's very different, you know. So we had the fun. The fun was in winning last year, and the fun is just coming to work every day now. So we're just enjoying that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting comment. That look, I mean, I think anybody that has played for Nick Saban will tell you the practices are they're a different level. And now, before I say what I'm about to say, don't hear me say that there's only one way you can win football games. Okay. So don't hear me say that.
I've already heard you say it.
No. Don't hear me say it, Jim. That's literally what I'm saying. Do not hear me say that. There is no doubt. You've seen the video from Kalen DeBoer's practices. It's a completely different atmosphere than Nick Saban's practices. Music playing, things like it's a different atmosphere.
People smiling.
Well, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like Nick Saban's practices were basically a prison camp. I'm not trying to say that, Lance. But
right.
Yeah, but this is going to become a big deal if Kalen DeBoer loses games, because people are going to say Nick Saban did it the right way, and it was all football. And this regime is too lax. I mean, that's exactly what the narrative will be. But don't forget, and I know it's different when you're coming from Washington to Alabama, but go back to Sioux Falls, to Fresno, to Washington. This guy, it has worked his way every single destination. And, you know, I would go back to Chip Kelly playing for a national championship, much like DeBoer did at Oregon. But that's probably a bad example, because Chip Kelly really didn't translate to wins after he left Oregon.
Yeah, you cannot hire a coach and say, I'm going to hire you, but you got to do it this way. You either hire a coach and let him do it his way, or you don't hire the coach.
No, DeBoer wouldn't have taken the job.
No, I agree completely.
Good story last week, ESPN.com, from Alex Scarborough, I believe, that it was almost intentional that Greg Byrne hired someone very different than Nick Saban.
Well, now, to be fair, though, I don't know outside of Kirby how many Nick Saban-type guys you could find out there. I mean, who else can you think of that's out there that could have been a legitimate candidate?
Well, I think the bigger question, Brownie, is how many of those guys who have tried to do it like Nick Saban have not done it well. Billy Napier is the latest one that seems to be treading water right now, because what have you heard about Billy Napier? He's
he's on the ultimate hot seat, and there's a chance he could lose his job in October, November.
But before he was hired.
Oh, he was the next Nick Saban.
Yeah, people were like, nobody does it more, other than Kirby.
Nobody does it more like Nick Saban.
We heard that about Will Muschamp.
Yeah, than Billy Napier. But you say that about Napier at Louisiana when he was winning.
That's right.
And now that he's losing, everybody's like, well, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Jeremy Pruitt was going to be, he's going to be hard-nosed, hard-ass like Nick Saban.
Yeah.
He's going to do it just like they did in Tuscaloosa. Didn't work at Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know that there were that many guys out there that you legitimately wanted to hire. So you probably were going to have to go away from that.
Yeah, and I do agree with Keith. I think DeBoer is, for whatever this means and whatever this says about where we are and today's athlete, he is a good fit for today's player.
I mean, I will say yesterday, and don't hear me say, yesterday, Dunaway, you've got Nick Saban in front of Congress basically saying everything I did for 50 years no longer works in football.
Yeah.
It's not the way it was for me for 50 years.
Well, let's hear that.
Okay.
Give me cut one, Rockstar.
He's Tyler.
Excuse me, Tyler. You're a rock star to me, Tyler. Ted Cruz sitting next to Nick Saban is worth a look in itself yesterday. Things I never thought I'd see.
Interesting, right?
Senator Ted Cruz. And now this is, if you don't know what's going on.
By the way, their drinks are too close to each other. Wouldn't you be afraid if one of those you grab the wrong drink?
Yeah, either Ted Cruz's coffee is right there, or he eventually starts drinking Nick Saban's coffee, one of the two. But I would tell you that this is trying to get antitrust laws in place for the NCAA so that players can make money but not be employees. And that's part of the discussion. Ted Cruz thinks it's a 50-50 chance it passes. He believes they've got like a 2-month window to get this done. And here is the takeaway moment from about 90 minutes of testimony that included several athletic directors, including Greg Byrne, a couple of senators who are trying to get the bills through the subcommittee and onto the floor of the House and Congress, House and Senate there. And then Alabama's Nick Saban. Hit it, Tyler.
How much did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? As I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think, is paramount to the future of college athletics.
So first off, first takeaway, Miss Terry got the ball rolling. She asked the question that ended the Nick Saban dynasty. All these years, people were asking, would it be Kirby Smart? Would it be Gus Malzahn? Would it be? So it ends up being Miss Terry that ends the dynasty.
Well, she's always in play when it came to Nick Saban, and you figured she would, be heavy on this decision. Look, change is inevitable, but that is sad. And I use a different analogy, and I brought this up before, and I'll probably use it until I'm done doing this. But Roman Harper, and what an Alabama fan through and through he is. And the sad thing about it is, because of that, you're not going to have these guys. Tyler Booker is going to be the outlier now. Guys that really love that script A and that will continue to wear it and pull for that program. It's not about the university. It's not about playing for that pride anymore. It's about how much money can I make. That's all it is.
But my point in mentioning that was we were talking about the difference in culture right now, and the commenter in the chat room said it feels like DeBoer probably could connect to today's player better. I mean, Nick Saban said that yesterday. You don't even have to say that. That's Nick Saban in front of Congress, or at least in a congressional hearing, saying that, everything I did for 50 years, the game has changed. I mean, he didn't out and out say I just couldn't connect to today's players, but he pretty much said I was finding it more and more difficult to communicate with today's players and connect with today's players. Now, don't get me wrong. If Nick Saban were still the coach at Alabama, they would absolutely be in the playoffs this year. It's not like the guy had lost his fastball coaching. He still knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what's so amazing, Brown. Just to jump in real quick, I was looking breakout players for every top 25 team or 2024.
Yeah.
And I had to scroll down the top 25 to find Alabama. And again, if Saban was the coach, to your point, I wouldn't have to scroll long.
So don't mishear me on that one either. But, I mean, that's Nick Saban right there in a congressional hearing saying, look, the way I did it for 50 years is just, it's not the way it's done anymore.
Is there a chance that when Ted Cruz was asking the question that Nick was thinking in his head, God, Reese Davis looks weird this morning for some reason. Like, I didn't know I was going to get questions asked to me by Ted Cruz when I showed up.
It's Grayson Allen.
Yeah. What if at the end Ted Cruz said, all right, Coach, time to make a pick. Let's put on the headgear.
They tell me we got to keep up the pace here, so make it quick.
Vice President Harris is not going to make a pick. She's doing the game.
But keep in mind what Nick Saban said yesterday. And there are people that were coming out of the woodworks to bash Nick Saban for speaking his mind yesterday. And everyone was saying that you could ask 100 college football coaches yesterday, and 95 of them agree 100% with everything Nick Saban said yesterday. They just can't say it because they've still got to recruit and still keep their locker rooms intact. That 95 out of 100 of them agree and just can't vocally agree with Nick Saban out there. But the first thing I heard was, well, Nick Saban was the first person to trumpet. He had $1 million quarterback in Bryce Young. Now, he addressed that yesterday. He said Bryce earned his NIL after he got to Alabama. He had a BMW deal, was a national deal. He had a Dr. Pepper deal that was a national deal. He had this deal. He had that deal. He got all of that after he showed up at Alabama and started to, and that was before he ever was a starting quarterback, but he had showed up at Alabama already. It was the concern, and that is what the conversation continues about, basically recruiting with money, having you to come here. Way back, remember where Nick Saban said Texas A&M bought every one of those players. The day after that, Deion Sanders at Jackson State, before he was ever at Colorado, had this to say.
It's supposed to be name, image, and likeness. that these youngsters are getting compensated from. I have no problem with that. I like that. I think they should be compensated, but it needs to be name, image, and likeness. So when we say name, image, and likeness, that means I need to see you endorsing something, right? So when you hear about these crazy figures some of these college athletes are getting, what do you see them on? I got time. What? Maybe one guy, a quarterback from Alabama, and my son, who has quite a few endorsements, but really you have collectives. That's what Coach Saban was saying. You have collectives who's gotten together, which is another name for a bunch of handsomely compensated boosters, gotten together and put money in a pot and say, okay, we got 20 million here. Coach, here you go, do your thing. So the coach said, well, let me go get this guy right here. I gave him one. I give him 500. I give him. That's not name, image, and likeness. That's just really a collective just breaking these kids off. That's not what it was meant for. Now that upsets the little guy. How we gonna compete with that at HBCUs when I believe 7%, if that, gives back to the schools in which they graduated from?
Mater.
Yeah, that's Deion Sanders when he was back at Jackson State, now at Colorado. But he still is one of the most outspoken voices of hating the way the system is.
Well, I threw this out there, and I wonder if he just threw that 7%, like, he kind of got lost, and he's like, I think it's 7%. When Bryce Young, when we started doing NIL deals here on the next round, Bryce Young, Brown talked to his representation at CAA, and the amount was ridiculous for a guy that had never taken a snap. And then you start to hear about these seven-figure deals he's got. And I think we did a segment on it, a couple of years ago. Like, where do we see him endorsing anything?
Yeah.
The only time I watch local commercials is during sporting events. But digital, you get chased around by all this digital advertising. I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen anything in the local spots I've seen.
Truthfully, I thought in my head when I heard NIL was going to come around, I thought whether we were in radio or I was still doing local TV or we were doing this, I really thought every commercial break would have, I'm Tyler Booker for so-and-so Ford.
Yeah, no.
Or I'm Peyton Thorne for the good people at Wickles Pickles or whatever,
You got to remember, though, there are so many, and we're evidence of this, there are so many different places commercials air right now. Or not even air, but our own social media and places like that it is easy to not see it because you're not the target audience.
Yeah, but I haven't seen one.
I know.
I mean, outside of the Dr. Pepper deals.
Right.
Somebody there was talking about the Heisman House. I'll give you that. But outside of that, you guys tell me.
That was Nissan, right? The Heisman House.
But like Shador does a lot of his on social media.
That's right. And if you're not the target market, you're probably not going to get that.
Like if I'm not following Shador,
that's right.
So I never see his, right? So Bryce may have done a BMW. I wasn't following Bryce on any of his social media. Maybe he did BMW on his social media.
That's right, yeah.
So maybe some of them are, and I'm not seeing them, but it's not the traditional television or radio or print commercials or ads that I was expecting. We'll see if anything happens, but in the real world that we live in right now, it is all those handsomely compensated boosters and those of you that are joining the great collectives that are paying the bill right now to try to keep your team winning. It is insane. We will continue on when we come back. I want to talk to you about the quarterbacks down at Auburn and how you think that's shaking out as they were back on the practice field yesterday. And we will get to Kirby Smart and Georgia as we move forward, and basketball with Dane Bradshaw at the top of the hour. Show being brought to you by a couple of great people. One of them is the folks at the Rump Shaker. That event is coming up here very soon, LT, and it's for a great cause.
Yeah, it really is. It's coming up March 23rd at Regions Field. And for more information, you go to rumpshakerinc.org. Did you realize that colon cancer, second leading cause of cancer deaths in America, it affects men and women equally? If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is is the key. Again, for more information to get registered for the Rump Shaker, go to rumpshakerinc.org.
And also our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Lunsford and I were talking yesterday about how thankful we are for Leslie and her board-certified team down there. Just tremendous on how they can help you design a specific plan for you that whatever your goal is will help you. For me personally, a little bit of weight loss, but mostly it's about blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. And you can get a plan from Leslie without ever losing any money out of your pocket. Just find out what Way to Wellness is about by going to their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and your first consultation is absolutely free. It works. It's easy, relatively speaking, and they're just great people to work with. Aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at legacycreditunion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Back with you on The Next Round. Little college football in this segment before we go back to the SEC tournament and talk to Dane Bradshaw. I want to make an announcement right here, right now, that it is something that I don't think we've done ever in the history of our show. But we're breaking protocol for a good reason. But we're breaking protocol.
Okay.
And I think people are going to like it.
Okay.
I hope people like it. We are breaking protocol. We usually wait on Rockstar's Lounge until after the Final Four, the national championship game. Well, for the first time in the history of the show, we're going to start Rockstar's Off-Season Lounge this Friday. Brought to you by the great folks at the Floribama.
That's right.
So they'll be with us starting Friday. We'll have a Rockstar song that will end the show and take us to the weekend. And he'll do that all the way until the start of football season, presented by our friends at the Floribama. So we're excited to break protocol. And we'll do it a little earlier this year just because spring has sprung. It was in the 70s and sunny yesterday. It was fantastic. So that starts Friday. First time in the history of the show, breaking protocol before the end of the NCAA tournament. Spring has sprung even here on the show. Rockstar starts that on Friday. We look forward to it. They started spring drills over at Georgia this week. Kirby Smart had a chance to talk yesterday. They are not the defending champs. They're not the two-time defending champs anymore. So Kirby Smart gets asked about, hey, is it any different?
I'm just curious, does it feel any different coming in as a team that came up just short of the ultimate goal of a national title as compared to the last 2 years where you had a title and then 2 titles? Does it feel any different? Is it any advantage, disadvantage as a coach coming in this situation?
No, I mean, every year starts fresh. I say that all the time. Y'all say it's coach speaking redundant, but for me, it's a fresh beginning with a new team. And I'm trying to, since the last whistle, recreate this team. What does the 2024 team look like? And that would be the case regardless of how last year finished. I don't think last year plays anything into this season. Each season's independent of the previous.
You know, and this is not going to be your takeaway from this or anybody's takeaway from this, but do you know how, like, the people you went to high school with, you always envision them how they looked in high school? That's not how they look now. You don't look that way now. Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm bald and
I know that.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder what you're going to look like for eternity?
Yeah. I mean, you do. Oh, you mean like in the great beyond?
Yeah.
Like in heaven?
Yeah. Do you get to pick your age? Like if you go down at 90, if you go down like Hugh Hefner, there's no way if they were like, okay, you're going to look the way you want to look. There's no way Hefner was like, I'm going to take this moment.
Yeah.
Have you ever
interesting example you chose there, but yes.
Have you ever thought that heaven and hell is actually going on right now and you're in it?
No, I've never thought of that. No.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, look, people have philosophized about the afterlife, and yeah, I mean, there's that theory out there.
Interesting.
There's a lot of theories.
There's
out
a theory that this is purgatory, like you already died and you're in purgatory.
I mean, there's
I don't believe
reincarnation that you're going to come back as a dog.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't like that.
Would you want if reincarnation existed? You love dogs. Would you want to be a Vizsla?
If I got an owner like me, yeah.
Would you want to be a Vizsla?
now, Maddie has said that Chili, and I've got a video I'm going to send Forrester in a little bit from last night. It was ridiculous, but she said that Chili is Genghis Khan reincarnated.
Would you be a Vizsla or would you be a ram?
I'd
not
be
the animal.
I'd be a Vizsla. I'd rather be on somebody's couch.
Not on somebody's roster?
I don't know. Have you guys ever seen? It's a great movie. Heaven Can Wait.
Oh yeah,
with Warren Beatty.
Yeah, it plays the soprano saxophone.
Yeah, but he gets to ultimately. Have you ever seen this movie?
I think I remember it as a kid. I mean, it's pretty old, right?
Oh yeah, 1980. But it swept the Oscars, like Warren Beatty. Best Picture, Best Director. It was really, really well done way back then, and it's got a great cast: Ian Cannon and Charles Grodin and Jack Warden. But anyway, once he becomes reincarnated in that body after they snatched his body too early when he was riding the bike in the tunnel, after a minute he never remembers his former life. So I don't know.
So here's an answer to your question.
Real quickly on the Brody, I noticed the same thing. Is that a Mobley and Son? The little dog strip dog.
I was going to point that out. That is the worst looking quarter zip I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Georgia typically has good gear. That is the worst piece of Georgia gear I've ever seen.
The Alabama version of that looks
I like
much
the
better.
Tide version.
I agree.
Just the dogs.
Yeah. To answer your question, so as a believer in Christ, I believe that when you die, you as a believer in Christ, you go to heaven, right? That's my belief.
Right.
So here's something I've always thought about. Like, is heaven currently existing? And all those that have died have gone there. Or when I die, do I just like fast forward in time to when everybody enters heaven at the same time?
Yeah, I've thought about that too. Like, there's no way that I would think it would be bad if you die prematurely and then you've got to wait 40 or 50 years on
time doesn't exist. But time doesn't exist. So
yeah, that's
just like a
what
snap
I'm saying.
of the
Now, do you agree with Troy, though, being a believer of Christ, that Hef is definitely burning in hell?
Oh, I would never say that about anyone. There's no definite.
Yeah, there's no definite.
I did think that was an interesting example you chose.
But there are people that believe that too, right?
Yeah, so,
But maybe hell doesn't exist, and you're just going through it right now.
Okay, let's simplify it a little bit more, not as exaggerant. Do you guys dream of yourself in the current state, or do you ever dream of yourself the way you looked in the past? And will that change the older you get?
I think I only dream of myself in my current state.
I think I do too, but you wonder if that stops.
Not me. I'm always 28 with abs and hair.
Did you have abs at 28?
No.
What about when you were doing the burn index by apartment complex pools? Said Ski Lodge 2 and 3.
I will tell you that
Knob Hill.
DNA in your own body takes care of the way you look when you're in your teens, and you don't really have to work out a lot. Your body just looks good when you're in your teens and 20s.
I do think you're a lot more active in your teens and 20s.
Zero doubt about that. You got a better metabolism.
Yeah, pick up basketball every night, something like that.
This team's played 3 games in 3 nights. We used to play 8 straight hours. One of the reasons everybody was in shape.
But 25, 26, maybe you drink a lot of beer. When you're a little slower, you start to put on a little gut. That's when it started for me. But no, I'm always 28. I look good in my dreams.
You have hair?
Oh, yes. I have great hair. And everybody's always running their fingers through it. I'm always stop it. I don't like it. Auburn quarterback.
I didn't even get to my point.
No, where's your point? Go ahead.
I always view Kirby as that young, energetic assistant coach on Nick Saban's early staffs.
Right.
And like all of us, age is starting to catch up with Kirby. Like the hair's going a little bit grayer. It's wearing on him. I mean, I think
up at the still shot again for me, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, pull that cut. We don't have to play the cut.
Don't play the cut. Just show it to me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think much like being president of the United States makes you age almost triple speed or quadruple speed, I think this day and age, being a college football head coach makes you age quicker.
Well, I mean, if you're really good like Kirby. If you do the side-by-side of Obama when he took office and where Obama was when he left, it really is.
Every president is that way. You look at Kirby, he is like me. Like he is, during the winter months, he packs on a few nuts there.
It's a spark plug.
Wow. Yeah, gets a little thicker in the middle.
Well, I'm just saying.
By the time we get to SEC Media Days, he'll have that gone.
Well, that's because he'll be playing pickleball in the next couple of months.
Yeah, he'll have that little gut gone, and he'll be in shape ready for the season.
I mean, Kirby's 48, but he's been doing this a long time. That's going to catch up with you.
He's only 48?
He's only 48.
Yeah. Hey, man, the dog's going to be good for a while until he retires.
I think he is a dying breed in coaching, though.
I kind of agree with Lance. I don't know how many will do it as long as he will.
Auburn's quarterback situation brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports, Ortho, getting you back in the game. People that were at practice yesterday, their observation says it continues to be this in rotation. Peyton Thorne, Holden Gerner, Hank Brown, Walker White. Those
I'm interested to see after spring game what that order is.
Yeah. Which one interests you the most?
Walker
Did you
White.
see a video from ABC 3340 in practice yesterday as they do a little work in shells there? There's a little Walker White.
That's the one that interests me most.
Yeah, I would agree with Brown. Gerner, Brown. Peyton Thorne is going to be that guy this year, but I think moving forward, if you're looking for a guy that could be a star quarterback on this roster, I think that's your shot.
That's your shot right there. All right, Precision Sports Ortho. They brought you that little clip from Auburn and also a little conversation about Auburn and Georgia's spring game. Precision Sports and Ortho will get you back in the game. All you have to do is call that number, 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Tweak a shoulder working out or maybe a back working in the yard. They'll work for you to get you back going. Part of the Brookwood Baptist Health System, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, 205-512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. And Dr. B gets us to Dane Bradshaw.
Did it again last night. The non-invasive 30-minute treatment on the couch. I do it 3 times a week. Ever since I went to see Dr. Beckenstein, that's all I'm doing. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3hair.net. You can call 205-319-0316 for more information to schedule the consultation. More than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today. Tell him the next round sent you. 205-319-0316.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram @Jim Dunaway.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, hour number 2 now, but day 1 at the SEC tournament. Let's get right to Dane Bradshaw and talk about the games today and this whole week. Vandy and Arkansas at 6 tonight, then Missouri and Georgia at 8:30 this evening. Both those games on the SEC network.
And that's where you see Dane all the time, at Dane Bradshaw on Twitter. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What's up, Dane? How are you?
I'm great, guys. Excited to be in Nashville and awesome tournament ahead. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to bypass tonight's games. I hope you're okay with that. And move on. I want to start with, we'll talk a couple bubble teams first. Texas A&M. Do you feel like Texas A&M, I think Joe Lenardi, what did he say? He'll beat Ole Miss? First one out, beat Ole Miss. I mean, what do you think A&M and Buzz Williams? Feels like Buzz is always here, always on the bubble. What do they have to do in your mind?
Yeah, and quietly, I don't know that there's a more confident team entering the SEC tournament right now than Texas A&M. A 3-game win streak, 2 of those on the road, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, that might not get any headlines, but still road wins are huge for your program. And the fact that in those past 3 games, they've had Manny Obaseki inserted into the starting lineup. So we all know about Wade Taylor, Tyrese Radford, and those guards, but they become over-reliant and just kind of watch those guys take turns. And now you've added a third scorer to that backcourt. Obaseki got SEC Player of the Week, averaged 18 over the past 3 games. And so they're playing extremely well. And that game they had against Ole Miss, they were on fire. Their first shot offense has really been abysmal all year. It's not aesthetically pleasing. They're great at going to get their own offensive rebounds. But last game, I'm curious to see if it carries over, if they really found their shooting stroke, because, man, they were on fire. But you've got the Ole Miss game. Of course, you have to take care of that tomorrow night. And then you got an opportunity against Kentucky. And if you could beat Kentucky for the second time this season, I don't know how you keep them out if they're already on the bubble. And while does it make it you're on thin ice? Yeah, but there's a lot of bubble teams out there that wish they had that opportunity ahead of them that are just sitting there at home hoping for good luck.
Dane, another team squarely on the bubble. First game tomorrow, Mississippi State taking on LSU. Lenardi thinks State wins. They are in. Love Josh Hubbard's game. But this Mississippi State team, after winning 5 consecutive games, they lose 4 consecutive games to end the regular season. If they are able to win a game or 2 and get into the NCAA tournament, could this be a dangerous team with Chris Jans?
Absolutely. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. When he was hired a year ago, just about everybody said, man, what a perfect fit. He has an opportunity, guys, to take Mississippi State to their 2nd consecutive NCAA tournament in his first 2 years. The only people that have done that this century were Bruce Pearl when he got the job at Tennessee back-to-back, and John Calipari when he got the job at Kentucky. To be able to take over a job in the SEC in Starkville, Mississippi, and have your team in the NCAA tournament twice, I think is one of the least talked about great coaching jobs in this league. Now he's got some work to do. You would have loved to have gotten one of those games. And it's not like they weren't competitive. They, a Reed Shepherd heroic shot for Kentucky, changed that outcome down in Starkville. And right now, I do think you feel a lot better if you're Chris Jans, if you can win that game against LSU. And after that, I think they'd be okay. But the last thing you want to do is drop an early one in the SEC tournament and then watch all these Cinderella stories start happening in conference tournaments and the bid stealers and all those things. So should be. I think if there's 2 teams with the most pressure in the tournament, you guys have started with those, A&M and Mississippi State.
I like to do impersonations. If there was a hidden camera in a home in Fayetteville or somewhere in the state of Arkansas, I pictured this happening over the weekend. Some guy's getting ready to pack up and go to Nashville, and he's going, whoo, and his wife interrupts him and says, the tournament starts on Wednesday. And he's like, the tournament doesn't start on Wednesday? How the heck is Arkansas playing on a Wednesday? They don't belong on a Wednesday.
Yeah, you're right. That is, and a lot of folks thought Arkansas would be an NCAA tournament team. Same for Missouri. I mean, they've had their injuries, but a lot of people thought year 2 would be a lot different there. So, yeah, they're at least 2 Wednesday teams right now that we did not expect to be there. And for Arkansas, Eric Musselman's been so good in the transfer portal before it got popular and you could have the, multi-transfer opportunities and 5th-year stuff. He's been doing it for the last several seasons, but he's missed this year. And I think he'd be the first to tell you that without throwing his players on the bus. And I think one thing that's going to be a trend, too, is coaches are going to have to start looking as they take these transfers. Was that player part of a winning program, or has he ever been part of one? And I'm not saying these guys are losers by any means, but when you start a collection of 6, 7 transfers, and then you look up and say, wait a minute, why is it taking them so long to learn what winning looks like and what a winning program looks like? And you look back, you say, well, we did take 7 guys that have never been a part of anything special. I think that's something that's occurred at Arkansas, and they're not alone on that. And I'm not saying that every single player that's never won before, can't win, but you'd like to have that balancing act of at least a couple guys that have been to an NCAA tournament.
Dane Bradshaw is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline from Nashville. And let's move to the top of the bracket now, Dane. We've spent a lot of time in the lower part of the bracket. I want to start with Auburn. We asked Stephen Pearl in his weekly visit with us about this yesterday. There are a lot of Auburn fans that think this team might be Bruce Pearl's best. I know you don't get to just study every single game Auburn has played in the Bruce Pearl era, but from looking at the surface, could you see that this might be the best team Bruce Pearl has had at Auburn, or at least comparable to the team he had a couple of years ago that most people consider the best?
Yeah, it's taken some getting used to because I'm accustomed to seeing great guard play and tons of three-point shooting, but the front line for Auburn has been incredible, and the defense, the depth. And it was a great story of the non-conference. Bruce said it himself, like, hey, I think our ceiling is about where we are right now, and can we continue to compete at a high level as other teams start to get better throughout the season? Because you knew you were going to have some late bloomers in the SEC, but Auburn has more than held their own. And the way they're beating teams, I mean, every single win, am I not correct, is double digits this year? I mean, so, gosh, I mean, on one hand, somebody can say, well, I don't know if they can win close games, but you can't say hold it against them for taking care of business. And they've got, I think his play calling this year, every time I watch film on them, it seems like a majority of their great looks and high percentage shots just come off a play call. He's the best play caller in the SEC, and he's a film junkie, and it's paid off. But I don't know if Auburn has the chance to make the deepest run of all teams. I would still give Tennessee that edge, given the star power of Dalton Connect and their veterans in defense. But for some reason in this SEC tournament, Auburn's my favorite right now, and I think they're the team that not enough people are talking about. It's the Kentucky show. It's Tennessee. And I think Auburn plays best with that chip on their shoulder. I could see them cutting down the nets here in Nashville.
Hey, and one team you didn't mention, and look, Lamont Paris is going to be your SEC Coach of the Year, but I think Todd Golden, the job he's done with this Florida team, I had a friend text me yesterday. He said, what do you think about Florida 14-1 to win this SEC tournament? I said, that is a team, I know they've been uneven, but they are so well-rounded. Do you like this Florida team, and how do you think it plays out in Nashville going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I really do. And even when Florida was, not getting a lot of attention, as you would go to shoot-arounds in the SEC and you're just talking shop with the coaches before the team gets started, and they're like, I'm telling you, that Florida team's pretty good. Their guards are good, their bigs. And within 5 weeks, they went from being an 11 seed, according to Joe Lunardi, all the way to a 6. So, I mean, man, they came on strong in February. They stumbled against Vanderbilt to close out the season. But, yes, they've got a great shooter in Clayton on the perimeter. Pullen runs the show for them at the point guard spot. Great assist-to-turnover ratio, pull-up mid-range guy. And I'm just surprised how well their offense clicks because they got 2 bigs. And in today's game, you got to have a pick and pop 4 or spread you out 5-man. They don't. They just got 4s and 5s that are big, burly, screen setters, offensive rebound getters, physical guys. And when those 2 guys get tired, they bring another 2 guys off the bench at the 4 and 5 spot at 6'10", 7 feet that just come in to where as an opponent, you were just going in for a battle on the interior. And as much as March is about guard play, you can't get punked down low. And I think we've seen some teams in the SEC really get taken advantage of because they're thin on the front line. That's not going to happen to Florida.
Wife and I were discussing that over appetizers last night. You got to have a pick and pop 4 all the time. Got to have a pick and pop 4. Hey, Alabama, you saw them earlier in the SEC play when they were at their best. How far are they away from their best right now? And do you think they maybe can get back to that point? What's missing right now? Did the competition just get tougher, or is something not clicking offensively for this team?
Well, I think because they're not as talented as they were a year ago, their injuries impact them more so than maybe last year. And Latrell Wrightsell is a really key player for them. He came back and played well against Arkansas. They don't win without him. Rylan Griffin, though, is now out. So those are 2, I don't know his status yet, but those are 2 role players that could be leading scorers for a lot of SEC teams. But it's part of what makes Alabama so great is the balance they have offensively, despite Mark Sears getting 20 a game. They've got those other weapons. So I think a lot of it is them getting healthy. I also think they are what they are. That they're not great defensively. They don't have rim protection. So if they can't guard the ball and you can get past them, you can usually get some good shots at the rim. personally, I like them playing just smaller. They move the big kid Grant Nelson to the 5 spot. He gives up some size, but him at the 5 and 4 guards, I'd rather them just be even more lethal offensively, knowing that they're going to have to scratch and claw defensively, because when they go big, they're not that great defensively anyway. Might as well just go all in on the offensive side.
I know we wanted to avoid teams today, but I got to ask you about Missouri, because we talked about when they came into this conference, we thought they'd be really good at basketball. I know Dennis Gates, he kind of referenced, he's had the injuries this year. 3 key contributors have been out. But this is a team, since they joined the conference, they are 1-5 in the NCAA tournament. And I know it's a program that's never been to a Final Four, but 1 win in the NCAA tournament since they joined the SEC conference. What is wrong with Missouri basketball as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it would be Kim Anderson who got the job when they started, when they first came into the SEC. I don't know if that was year 1 or not, but that was. That was kind of a cleanup situation where they were, anticipating probation and all those other things. So you kind of you got started in the wrong direction there. Konzo Martin comes in, has a great year 1, and after that didn't do as well as they wanted. And then Dennis Gates comes in, has a great year 1 as well. And then year 2, you're looking at 0-18. So I can't put my finger on it. It's not the consistency they want. I think Dennis Gates. They've got the top 5 recruiting class in the country. From everything I've been told, that's still solid. Those guys aren't getting poached right now. And so I would think next year is going to look a whole lot different for Dennis Gates, because and the fact that he had proof of concept in year 1 helps. But there's no question year 3 needs to be a big turnaround year. But I don't see him being in any trouble right now in terms of his job, given all the adversity they've had this year.
I think I have your age right, but on this day in history, the driveway basketball game changed forever, because whether you became a sportscaster or not, we all painted our own end-of-game scenarios where we got the last shot off in the NCAA tournament. 26 years ago today, Bryce Drew hit that shot. Valpo beat Ole Miss. Did you ever recreate that in your driveway as, a 10, 11, 12-year-old when that happened in 1998?
That's close. I don't know that I recreated that one, but I remember where I was when I was watching it, and I had when Bryce Drew was in the SEC coaching Vanderbilt, he broke it down for us once. They called the play pacer, and what just an epic situation there. Mike White, who's now coaching at Georgia, he was at Ole Miss at the time, so he doesn't like to really talk about that game as much. He was there for a pretty close seat to it. But yeah, that was. I mean, there are so many moments in March and Cinderella stories, and for what'd you say it was, 98?
1998, yep.
Yeah, so for that one to still be up there with the top of them is just remarkable. But no, I didn't recreate that one as much. Maybe I needed to recruit some friends to come throw me the ball or something. I was out there lonely by myself.
All right, see Dane on the SEC Network throughout the weekend in Nashville. Thank you very much for the time, Dane. Always great talking with you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. You too. Take care. Dane Bradshaw with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Small head shake from Lance when you brought that game up. I'm guessing.
No, I remember. No, I'll never forget. So that was my first year at Jocks. Boy, that was a long time ago. But I remember sitting at Damon's with Michael Spistow, and there were some other guys there. And
stadium seating, though.
I just remember him like jumping up, and he knocked one of our big, tall yard beers over there. That was an amazing moment. And then Bryce Drew just does the dive on the court.
Yeah.
That was one, and I guarantee you, see that shot a million times next week.
I saw a little head shake from you. I thought maybe it was a bad beat.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Show being brought to you
I was shaking because it was so long ago.
Yeah, 1998, 26 years ago now. Woodhouse Day Spa bringing you this walk down memory lane with the NCAA tournament. I would tell you, maybe the most iconic shot in NCAA tournament history.
No. I'll tell you, though, we almost witnessed it would have been the greatest shot in the history of basketball.
I remember watching it with you.
Butler, right?
It was Gordon Hayward, and he takes off. He lets it go from half court against Duke to win the game, and it looked dead on, and it goes right off the backboard and rim. And if that shot goes in, like
half-court shot for the win?
Yeah, there's no way to top that in any sport, I don't think. I think it's the greatest one singular shot, hit, touchdown.
I do too. What is y'all's most iconic?
In front of Bryce Drew.
Oh, it's a Christian Leitner.
Is Christian Leitner and
against Kentucky? You had to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, and then I would even, because you're talking about a first round versus a trip to the Final Four and the Leitner play altogether. But even in front of the Bryce Drew shot, I would probably still go the Michael Jordan shot in the national championship game.
Yeah, well, Keith Smart had that shot. We've seen that
but the Jordan shot won the game, though.
Well, the Keith Smart shot won the game. I mean, Indiana won a national championship with that against Syracuse. And it was the same spot in the Superdome, the exact same spot that
Villanova had a game winner, right?
Oh, yeah. That was so the game was tied, though. And I think it was Chris Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's don't forget who's the guy? Lorenzo Washington, was that his name? The tip-in for NC State?
Yeah, you're talking about, for instance, for Valvano?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically the winning.
It was
the
an air
shot
ball
was short. Yeah, but he was able to basically an alley-oop.
Yeah. Was it Edney that drove the court and put it in for UCLA to save the day?
Second round against Missouri, though. They ended up winning that national championship.
Back when Missouri was good.
Back when Missouri was good.
Chris Jenkins for the I mean, I like the Scott Drew shot, but it's on down the list.
All right. Woodhouse Day Spa taking us down memory lane.
Yeah, again, they're doing great March Madness specials. So if you've got the wife or girlfriend you want to take off and you want to go to that local sports bar and hang out with all the guys and watch all the action all day long, send the significant other to the Woodhouse Day Spa. She's not going to say a word to you. You can stay out as long as you want. Located at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop in, see Stewart and the guys at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Michael says Lou Holtz is launching a podcast tomorrow. Buy stock in microphone protectors. I've heard it's going to be called Spitting Lugs. I'm kidding. It's not.
Spitting Lose?
Yeah. Spitting Lose would be a...
There is no way Lou's doing this on his own. Somebody's got to prop him up and put everything together.
He's got to have a host.
Coach, tell us the story about that time y'all went to Michigan.
Do me a card trick.
I know you listen to SiriusXM, the college sports channel.
I do.
And sometimes when I get in the car at night, I'll hear Mike Krzyzewski. It seems like his show's on all the time, and he's hosting that show by himself.
No. They've got a guy that sits in.
See, it just seems like Krzyzewski's talking to a really good guest all the time.
It's the way it is. It's in fact, Danny Cannell, who was on our show earlier this week, if you want to go check in on our podcast, he occasionally fills in for the regular hosts. But the regular host, basically, he does the nuts and the bolts. He sets
traffic cop
in and out of the breaks.
Yep. Hey, and coming up, Coach is going to be talking to Nick Saban tonight.
Yeah. Adam Stocks with Sonny and Wimp years ago, right?
Winnie and Sim.
Yeah. So Nick Saban joins now with Coach. And then Mike will ask Nick a question, and he never says it. It's Mike interviewing the guest. It's Coach K interviewing the guest.
Guy's got to know his place. That's what
exactly
I want is Coach K interviewing the guest.
You don't want to rotate around Coach K, Nick Saban, and then some geeky guy like me asking, so Coach.
Yeah.
But his guest, I mean, I guess it's hard to say no to Mike Krzyzewski on the show.
Top line.
Just count it down. Nick Saban in the next couple of months will be on that show.
Oh, yeah. He has been before.
Oh, he has.
And they're always good interviews. I mean, you're just hearing two of the greatest minds in sports history talk. They're entertaining.
Yeah. By the way, Louisville is about to fire, if they haven't already today, fire Kenny Payne.
It's going to draw a lot of interest.
Yeah, coming up in 4 downs, the Louisville job.
But I will tell you. Okay, let's save that next segment. We'll get 4 downs out. We'll save the Louisville discussion then. I'll pivot. I'll pivot right here. 2 things. WWE, for the first time ever, can I get Lunsford's microphone, please? First time ever, and y'all may have discussed this in the Meltdown, 2 o'clock yesterday. And I didn't know this. They've never had a sponsor on their canvas. I mean, you just think about the ability to have a sponsor on their canvas.
Is that true, Lance?
They've never had one printed on the canvas. They have shown, like, a couple of years ago. You remember Bray Wyatt played at Troy?
Yeah.
He's passed away not too long ago. He had a in the dark match. His whole thing was like in the dark, and so they put like the Mountain Dew something, whatever their like purple drink was that they had on the mat. They like did it by like blacklight and shown it there. So they would do stuff where they would like brand it in a way it wouldn't have anything printed on. But
now
mat.
A printed permanent sponsorship, and LT brings this up all the time. Prime Hydration, a 2-year mega deal to have their logo on the WWE.
I saw, Prime has been big in that. I happened to, it was last year's national championship game. We had some friends over, and WrestleMania was on Peacock at SoFi. And it was the Logan Paul, I'm sorry. Who was he wrestling? Do you remember? But anyway,
I don't remember.
Right now, I think we're on a 4-Paul streak now of naming one and it being the other
one. And he was wrestling, but you remember Lunsford, the Prime bottle came out, and it was TSI in the Prime bottle. PSI. KSI.
But yes, he had the giant Prime bottle. Basically, it was all but being on the mat.
Yeah, Prime is, and the kids love it.
They do.
Hey, boy, and Prime takes a lot of pride in what they pour out because it's expensive.
Well, speaking of expensive, and I know you guys discussed this on the Meltdown Monday, Lunsford, but Christopher Nolan, in his contract, got a couple of extra bonuses for each Oscar he won the other night. And he's about to, because as always happens when a film wins, it'll go back and make a little bit more money box office. It'll go over $1 billion in the box office, which will give him an little extra bump that's in his contract. For Oppenheimer, right at a $100 million paycheck for Christopher Nolan. Right at $100 million. As soon as he gets the new bonuses, it'll go over $100 million for Christopher Nolan.
I just started streaming, and everybody that hasn't seen it is going to see it, and it's a really, really good film. So I do highly recommend it. I know Lunsford loved it as well. We do have Geek and Trash coming up. Rockstar compiled Hollywood's highest earners of 2023. These numbers are going to blow you away, and some of the actors and actresses involved will blow you away.
Do you know Cillian Murphy's take?
I do not. What would you guess, 25 million?
It's
less than $100 million.
Yes. But, I mean, probably 25, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think his paychecks moving forward are going to be massive.
Yeah.
Headline, Nolan in the dough.
Nolan in the dough. I like it. All right, show being brought to you by Michelson Laser Vision. We'll jump into 4 downs coming up in the next segment.
Call 205-969-8100. That is the number that I dialed over 20 years ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision, better than 2020. Hey, maybe you're getting that tax refund from Uncle Sam. Use it on something that will benefit you, the gift of sight. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. She's going to hook you up. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Done Away is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Nichols and McNeese State, Montana State, and Lehigh and Colgate all play for an automatic bid tonight. If Colgate wins, it'll be their fourth straight NCAA tournament.
Well, how about that? That's a pretty good run. I love these little conference championship games.
I was too, man. I was a game away, and I stayed up late last night trying to get a 4-0 for us on Lance's Lock, and I had Idaho State plus a 6.5, and they ultimately lost to Montana and the Grizz. But watching it, it was smaller than a high school arena. It literally, like the bleachers went up about 10 rows.
Yeah, I guess I've missed the Manhattan Siena League. I can't remember which league that is, but they always seem like the MEAC. They play in those small gyms too.
That may have been last night.
Yeah,
Brownie.
I think I missed it last night.
I think that ended up being who won it last night. That may have been the one that Wagner's in, maybe?
Yeah, I think
or
Wagner
Oakland?
is in that league. Yeah. I saw some of the Oakland game. I enjoy those games.
Yeah,
I just know it
Oakland
means
last
everything. It means everything to that team and that coach. It's their only chance to get in the tournament.
Yeah. By the way, Forrester, we don't have it anymore, do we? We don't have the Georgetown women's basketball.
Oh, that's a shame.
Coach, do we have it? You can pull it up.
The Georgetown women's coach?
Yeah. I think it was yesterday, cut number 10 maybe yesterday. Georgetown, this is the women's basketball coach, Darnell Harvey. You're talking about meaning everything. He was the assistant coach. Right before the season, the head coach died, Tasha Butts.
Gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, and the team was projected to finish 10th in the Big East.
Okay.
And the interim coach took over, and they won 22 games and made it to the championship of the Big East where they lost to UConn. But after they lost to UConn in the championship game, the athletic director of Georgetown walks in, and this is the moment that happens.
So we're going to announce tonight, you're going to hear that Georgetown and Coach Haney are in discussions for him to become the next head coach.
How awesome is that right there? Took over for a coach who passed for cancer, and he has earned the starting head coaching job at Georgetown.
Well,
Darnell Haney.
So cool.
So, there's so many really, really good human stories out there. And there's one going off today, and we've got a free play on this at Lance's Lock, but Wake Forest needs a win today. But if you look into their coach, Steve Forbes, and you guys remember him from East Tennessee State, now he's been at Wake 4 years, and they haven't been in the NCAA tournament. But his wife had a stroke, and he's her caretaker, and it's a sad story, man.
No.
But it's just one of those that it shows
Are they going to make the tournament this year?
If they win today, they should. So it's one of those you want them to win.
We're all demons today.
I even get chills talking about reading about this, man. But, it's just sad story, but shows you what a good human he is.
Wow, that is really good. Okay, tell us about Johnston RV.
Yep.
We're going to get 4 downs. We're going to get to the bad seats right here. I've been saving this for right now.
Bad seats.
Don't forget about them.
Oh,
Brownie.
you know where you never get a bad seat? In an RV from Johnston RV.
Thank you.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. One other bad thing you never get there is bad price. And they are even more committed now to make sure you get the best price you can with this all-new pricing plan. They've repriced every single RV, and they are so confident in their pricing that they will guarantee you the lowest price, and this is nationwide on any comparable RV. If you find a lower price, they're going to beat it at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Ask them about that all-new pricing plan at Johnston RV Center. They are always online. JohnstonRV.com. RVCenter.com, where they'll beat any price nationwide on a comparable RV.
Okay, these are the worst seats in college football. LT, I'm not blocking you to where you see them right here.
No.
Okay,
it's a good seat right here.
We'll go. This is a good seat. These are the worst seats in college football. Forrester, I'll just let you lead us to. This is at Arizona.
Holy crap. I mean, so most of these he's going to be up against a wall or behind a wall,
Yeah, the
right?
obstructed views because we continue to build out suites or things like that.
Yeah.
Here's what gets me, though. I mean, I know Jedfish did a good job turning this around, and they're going to be probably in the top 15. But I wouldn't think an Arizona football ticket would be that tough.
No, I don't think
choose
anybody,
to sit there.
Nobody has to sit in that seat.
That's right. I mean, obviously there are open seats available here.
Yeah.
He can move on down if he wants to, but they do sell that seat if somebody ends up buying it for a sold-out game. Who's next? This is at Memphis.
Wow, I've never liked that stadium.
Some of those old stadiums. I mean, you used to have what do they call it? Obstructed view, obviously.
Yeah.
But the old stadiums with the upper decks built that way always would have.
Yeah.
Allegiant Field was that way. You had some beams you had to look around.
Yeah, and I remember it was more prevalent, it seemed like, in old school baseball. But, like, would you guys even go to a Super Bowl if that was your seat?
No, yeah, because I could get in and at least try to walk around somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
I'd get in the stadium and try to stand and watch.
Well,
it.
any regular game, no chance.
No, heck no.
I would need somebody to be in seat 10 that I knew that I could lean on. Maggie in seat 10 so I could lean over and say,
hey, baby.
Look that way.
Hey, baby, we're about to score.
It's going to get really uncomfortable in seat 12 when I'm leaning the other way. All right, who's next? This is USC. This is much talked about where you can't even see the 5-yard line, LT. I mean, what are we doing
and
there?
trust me, there's plenty of seats there, too.
Yeah. So that's that new side where they built the new press box and all, or these suites and all
They
that.
put a lot of money into it. I haven't been there since the renovations. I was there during the renovations, but there's plenty of seats to be had.
Okay, what's next? The worst seats in college football here. This is, I think that's Western Michigan, if I know my logos correctly.
Yeah. Oof.
Brown, you didn't go to, that's not where you went, was
No, I was in Central Michigan.
Central Michigan, okay.
Yeah.
This guy has terrible seats. Why is this guy doing this?
It's the same guy.
Marty Smith is having a tough time.
Even the PJ Fleck years, there's no way somebody sat in that seat.
Nope.
Yeah, he is a seat geek is what he is, Rockstar. Who's next? Boston College.
Well, number one, you're at Boston College.
First off, they have built this up in the upper deck. They put a scoreboard up is what they did.
Yep. Can I make an observation? This guy has tremendous posture. He's always sitting very straight at these photos.
I hope he's listening. A little Paul Register in him a little bit too.
Okay.
Brown will appreciate this pull. David Duvall in his prime.
Oh, it is.
Put the blade sunglasses on him.
It's like
Detlef Shrimp.
Detlef Shrimp.
Yeah, but he does have some register in him, too.
Yeah, boy,
it's like David Duvall bought to Floribama.
Yeah, they put that scoreboard up, so we don't care if anybody sits there.
We have to stand up there all the time. Western Kentucky, plenty of seats available here, too.
Plenty of seats available, but don't take that one.
I don't know how many more we have left for us, or how many more. This is Liberty.
Oh, my. I think they built that stadium. Like, that's not like an add-on.
No,
I think they
that's
built that stadium fresh.
Yeah, that's a new stadium. They have not expanded since.
Why would you build a seat there?
But maybe that's exactly where Hugh was when he was in the hospital bed.
I remember him giving the thumbs up to Dino Babers.
Who's next? Is that it? One more? Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee. Again, going to have to stand up for that one right there. One more after this one. Here we go.
Murfreesboro.
The Florida Gators. Worst seats in college football.
You guys have been there before, right?
Yeah,
I've never been to the Swamp, Lance.
I've been to a bunch of games there, and randomly I've been to like 3 or 4 Tennessee games, but we had seats one time. It is literally, or it was plywood.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
You.
Where they've got the sign like "Welcome to the Swamp" or whatever.
It's just so chintzy. Like
it looks like it's metal.
Oh, it's plywood.
But it's plywood.
That's what I've heard. Lance not the first person I've heard say that.
Worst seats. Okay, let's do our 4 downs today. It's brought to you by our friends at Slice.
4 great locations for you. Get in, get a slice and a salad. Fantastic food from the Bajaya Brothers. 4 locations, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. For more information, local pizza, local ingredients, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Louisville job, we talked about it, opening up now. $8 million buyout on that one, by the way.
Yeah, no problem for that program's got some money.
Yeah. So I would ask you, better job, Louisville basketball or Oklahoma football? And I know Oklahoma's heading to the SEC, but think about it for a minute.
I'm still going to say Oklahoma football. But this Louisville basketball job's a good job. Y'all know how many games he won in 2 years?
Kenny Payne?
Yeah.
Like 8, wasn't it?
12. 8 this year, 4 last year.
Boy, I have heard, he was kind of thrust into a bad situation. I've heard Kenny Payne's an incredible guy. Now he gets an $8 million buyout. He'll be an assistant on a bench, financially secure, good spot now. It just sucks that his legacy is going to be remembered as nosedive 2 years.
Do you guys, his school, though, right? Did he play on a Danny Crum national championship team?
You know what's interesting? I've met him once. Do you guys remember the event I did for the Tip-Off Club with John Calipari?
Yep. I think about it often.
I bet you do. He brought Kenny Payne with him. That was when Kenny Payne was on his staff. Very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
And I hate it didn't work out for him because it's his school and a nice guy, but boy, it was terrible.
But just watch the coaches that could be mentioned for this job. They'll hire a big name, I think.
I think I'd go Louisville basketball, Lance. It's a tough question, but I think I'd go Louisville basketball.
I think I'm leaning Louisville basketball.
I'm going Oklahoma football because right now it is in one of the 2 conferences that count, the SEC and the Big Ten. Louisville will need to be in one of those in the future, but that basketball job's brilliant. Great facility. All due respect to Jeff Brom and football, they care a lot about basketball there, and I think they've got bottomless money with the young folks.
Second down.
We mentioned Trent Dilfer, 52. I'm going in-state here because I did hear this name, and I think we'll all agree it's not going to happen, but why not make a run at him? Current job longer. Trent Dilfer as UAB's football coach, or Bruce Pearl, whether he retires or goes somewhere else as Auburn's coach?
I would say Bruce Pearl is at Auburn longer than Trent Dilfer at UAB.
Well, that's a
really good question.
Really close and good question.
I don't think Bruce would take another job. I think he retires at Auburn, but I think that retirement could be I would say minimum of 5 years away. Like, I would be surprised if you don't get at least 5 more out of Bruce Pearl.
You think you get 5 more out of Bruce?
He's at the top of his game.
Yeah, I do
think you get 5 more out of Bruce?
I don't know. I could see it just because of the energy. At the same time, I think Bruce is going to be really calculated in when he exits to make sure it's Steven's job.
That's right. It'll be Steven's job, and he will leave while Steven has a good team.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to leave with a cupboard barrel.
Yeah, but I think year to year, you can build that team. I think he wants to be assured that everybody is behind the succession. And I think once he feels really good about that, I could see Bruce tap out.
Nicholas, Louisville may want Pearl. I don't think Bruce will leave at his age. What is Bruce's age? 62?
61?
I would say a tad bit higher. I would go 63.
I've got him in my head at 62.
Well, we went 61, 62, 63. I bet one right.
We got him at 63.
Yep. And I don't...
so that's 5 more years, 68. I don't think that's that crazy.
I don't think he goes 5 more years.
Okay.
Yeah. I would take the under on that one. But Trent Dilfer, if he is successful, will move on from UAB at some point. I would say Trent's UAB 2 to 3 more years, and I'd say Bruce is there 2 to 3 years, but I'll take Bruce is there slightly longer.
Third down.
Not a lot of great celebrity birthdays. Although this guy's Q score, he was number 3 of the celebrity birthdays. Jack Harlow, 26. If I ask you better career ultimately, Jack Harlow or Jack Johnson?
Hey, by the way, Jack Harlow right there.
Hey, Jack Johnson, he's carved a niche.
Yeah, he has like his own festival and stuff like that. Like but I like him, but it's the same thing.
Jack Harlow, Louisville fan, right?
Yeah, it's a full circle with the Louisville stuff. Yeah.
So Jack Johnson, like I don't mind hearing like one of his songs. I'm like, okay, this is kind of refreshing. But when you hear the back-to-backs, it's just so redundant.
Yeah. I'm going to go Jack Harlow here.
He's 26. He's got a lot of upside.
He's going to have better career.
Jack Harlow, he was somehow on my Spotify. I will go to a song occasionally and just do what's the service that you hit radio or something. And it plays songs like that song.
Or your daily mix.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been in my daily mix.
But Harlow is like Johnson on that point.
Harlow came on, and I was like, oh, I like this song. Who is it? And it was Jack Harlow, and I think it was the first Jack Harlow song I'd ever heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gotten pretty big, but a lot of his songs, obviously he's in the rap genre and kind of the rap pop. But his stuff, like Jack Johnson, sounds a lot alike.
It does. I like the hook of that song, though. A lot of rap songs, I only like the hook, the chorus part.
Yeah. I'm watching the Gentleman. It's a new series created by Guy Ritchie, the guy behind the movie, the feature of The Gentleman. And I'm a few episodes in, and it's really good. But it's amazing how many British rappers that aren't mainstream here
that are really good. And anyway, they're on that soundtrack.
Oh, are they really?
But if you like organized crime, violence, drugs, a lot of violence,
Who doesn't?
you will, and the element of humor that Guy Ritchie is able to implement in all of his work, it's done really well.
Fourth down.
William H. Macy, one of the best looking actors working today, 74 years old. If I asked you his better movie, Fargo or Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights.
What about Air Force One? We've got to get you off this plane, Mr. President.
See, I love Boogie Nights. I thought it was, Paul Thomas Anderson did a great job with it, but I thought Fargo overall was the better movie from the Coen brothers.
I don't know if I ever saw Fargo.
He played a great character in The Dropout with
I didn't see The Dropout.
He did with the Amanda Seyfried.
I did.
The blood thing.
Yeah.
Wild Hogs. Wild
Why
Hogs.
don't you come to me to invest initially?
Wild Hogs. With John
That's what
Travolta.
Lunsford says there.
And Shameless.
I would go
Did you
Boogie
guys
Nights.
watch Shameless at all on
No,
Showtime?
I did not.
Shameless? I saw a couple episodes.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was pretty good.
I always thought that female, the lead there, I always liked her.
Emma Rossum.
Yeah.
Emmy Rossum.
I always thought she was really, really attractive.
But it just made you feel dirty watching that show as far as like their kitchen floor. There's no chance you go barefoot in that kitchen.
Yeah.
You don't want to lay on their couch unless you're wrapped up.
Or any of their beds.
Yeah, it was it was a filthy looking house.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that's Four Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, again, get into the Bajai Brothers, created by the late Jeff, his brothers, Jason and Chris. They continue his legacy. Stop in, local pizza, local ingredients, from the soul pie to the hot mama. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
All right. By the way, yesterday was the day, but this week was the first one everyone started sampling it. For the first time ever in a glass bottle on this date in 1894, the Coca-Cola Classic. It was only available in drugstore fountains until it was put in a bottle.
William Pemberton?
Oh, what now?
William Pemberton?
I think that's right.
I read
a little bit of an addict.
In their first bottling, I saw the first bottle, and this popped up on one of my threads a couple of weeks ago, but it was almost like an oil can, and it said 3 grams of cocaine in every bottle of Coca-Cola back then.
That's steep. They've cut that back, Lance.
Yeah, I remember the 80s, though, getting the cold bottle, and if it was cold enough, it had a little ice in it.
Glass bottle's good.
But those glass bottles were so banged up, and I just wonder, I don't think Coke would ever allow that again.
No. Oh, it's probably too expensive.
Well, I've just never seen a banged up bottle like that.
Yeah.
Like
no, you're right.
see in the
They would
80s.
all be.
Because you were pulling it out of the.
That's right.
And
the
you could
old
recycle
school.
it.
You'd open, pull it
They
out.
were so thick that they could even chip. They wouldn't break or crack and leak. It would just chip. It'd have a chip off of it.
Did you guys ever do this on the pull out, like as a really young kid? I made the mistake of kind of letting it go and it went back in, and then your bottle was gone.
Yeah, because you pulled it enough to trigger that you paid
That's
for
right.
it, and then you pushed it back or something and it went the wrong way. Yeah, absolutely. I miss those days. I'm old enough to remember these. You'd walk into the gas station, and you'd open up those coolers, and you'd reach down and get your Diet Coke. Those that had the sideways, basically big refrigerators. You'd open them up, you'd pull out whatever you wanted.
Ice cold.
And then you'd click it on the side, the little opener.
It'd burn your throat on the way down. It's so cold.
Oh, and then Dad told me to put peanuts in the bottom of it.
I never was a big fan of that one.
Yeah, I do it occasionally. All right. When we come back, we'll continue the college football talk, and then Andy Kennedy back to basketball at the top of the hour. This is the next round.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Back with you on the Next Round. By the way, Alabama gets a great honor. They're going to be the only ESPN broadcast live spring game this year on main ESPN. They're coming to Alabama April 13th, 3 o'clock, A-Day down there. You built-in storylines.
Yeah, and we remember, Saban hanging back with Kirk Herbstreit, arms crossed, and they're kind of breaking it down together. You wonder what DeBoer, how he'll handle it, what his scoring system is, ones versus ones, ones versus twos.
Here's what I'm interested
in. Are people really watching spring games, though?
If you don't go to this one, they want you to get a big crowd for this one in Tuscaloosa, being Kalen's first one. But if you don't go, it's a great opportunity to watch and see maybe a little bit of what the schemes will look like and such. My question is, do you think ESPN will put their newest employee on that broadcast, or is that too much of a over-the-shoulder moment?
Yeah, I don't think that employee will want to do that. But
yeah, I think he would pass, but, I didn't know if he would be at the opening press conference for Kalen DeBoer, and he was sitting 10 feet in front of him. So I don't know. I don't think he will.
But you know how, like Herbstreit and an analyst are on the field sometimes? What if it's Nick Saban and Herbstreit back there, and Kalen DeBoer is sitting there talking to him?
In the peach jacket? Is he wearing that salmon-colored jacket?
I think it's...
that's going to be a lot. That's right over the shoulder at that point.
It's too uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't think that would happen.
This isn't uncomfortable at all. Last week, when Brown was gone, I talked about Greg Nelson and his beautiful wife's anniversary of 35 years. Rockstar, I messed up when I was saying that. What did I say?
You said you were... Normally gets lost in thought. He just starts going and going and going. He said, who have, after 35 years... separated.
At 35 years, they've been separated.
Yeah.
I got a quick text from Greg.
Right.
Correcting that.
Was that news to him?
It was news to him and his wife. Happily married still, Storm Restoration Roofing. They've been locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife own the company. And the family is expanding at Storm Restoration Roofing. You'll see the number on the screen right here, 205-542-3531. 542-3531. Greg just gave me heck about that mess up. But he also told me this cool thing that is going on. Now, this is not unlimited, but if you call Greg right now and set up that free no-cost roof inspection, he will perform a preventative maintenance on that roof. Is that right, Greg? Preventative maintenance on that roof. If you're one of the first few to call now, you can only do so many. The reason why he wants to give you the free preventative maintenance on your roof right now as part of your free no-cost roof inspection is because he's got to train some new family members. Luke, his son, Ben, his no good son-in-law, who's in studio with us, and then Phil, who is also dating a daughter, I believe, are all joining the company, and he's got to train them on the roof, right? He got to get them on the roof
off if he doesn't like them.
Yeah. Now, there's no way in hell I'd get on the roof with my father-in-law because I'd be off on the lawn really quick. But he's going to get the son-in-law, and the guy who's dating his daughter right now onto the roof and help with the preventative maintenance that he'll be up there with. It's free, no-cost roof inspection always with Storm Restoration Roofing, but that extra little boost there so he can do a little training. But call the number, that is 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or tell a friend so they can take advantage of this great offer, or go to Facebook, Greg from Pell City, and get a limited time preventative maintenance free on your roof, and always the free no-cost roof inspection. More college football for you here. Michigan is out. They've started spring drills. Your expectation for Michigan?
I don't have a lot of expectation for Michigan. I think the difference in this Michigan team, not only a ton of experience, but also J.J. McCarthy. And it was by far the best quarterback Jim Harbaugh had. Now, Sherrone Moore did a really good job in those 4 games as interim coach, going 4-0, but now it's all on him. And it's on a new quarterback, and you're losing guys like Blake Corum. And I think Michigan's still going to be good. I think they're going to be like 8-4 good, but I would be really surprised if they're back in a college football playoff.
Brutal schedule, too. They could go into the bye week, and this sounds crazy as the defending national champion, but they could go into the bye week 3-3.
That's right. Donovan Edwards is back first. Yep. Let's do a little personnel, and then we'll see that schedule, or at least I want to hear it from you. Donovan Edwards is back. Wink Martindale is the new defensive coordinator, blitz-happy guy from the NFL. But the quarterback battle, Jack Tuttle has a 7th year, and he's been in college football for a long time. Then you got Alex Orji, who was the guy that served as the Jalen Milroe type, preparing for the Rose Bowl. Yeah. And he's supposed to be sort of the guy to win the job they expect.
I haven't seen him throw the football, though.
I haven't either. And then there's their super recruit.
Is that important?
Yeah, that is important.
Okay.
Their super recruit, Jaden Davis, who everyone is raving about. So that's what Michigan has in the quarterback battle there. So that'll be see what they get there at the quarterback. But the big story with Michigan, I think of them the last 3 years, I think of what? Their offensive line.
Yeah.
Restructured, redo. They got to rebuild that offensive line basically from scratch. Yeah. Now tell me that schedule.
Well, they open with Fresno.
Not easy.
Not easy, but they'll
win that game.
Texas comes to Ann Arbor week 2. Is there a chance Texas favored in that game, right?
Ann Arbor? Yeah, Texas will be a 3 to 4 point favorite.
They'll be a 3 to 4 point favorite in Ann Arbor against the still at that point unbeaten defending national champs.
Well, do you feel good about Michigan +4 against Texas right now?
It's just perception.
Arkansas State, that's homecoming.
Yep.
Get that out of the way early. USC at Michigan. It's a toss-up game.
Yeah, I think Michigan will be a slight favorite, and I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from USC this year.
Minnesota at home, they should win that game.
Yeah, should win that game. If it was in Minneapolis, I think it would be a little different.
And then they're at Washington. That's a tough game. Yeah. At Washington. That gets you to your bye week. 3 very losable games. Now, on the flip side, if they're 6-0 going to the bye week, look out.
Yep. I got them at 4-2, 5-1.
No, hey, when I said
depending
that about
on USC.
Alex Orji, literally, there were 5 guys that threw passes last year for Michigan. Alex Orji wasn't one of them.
And played a number of snaps.
I think Jack Tuttle will end up being your guy. All of his experience at Indiana, not that he was great, but I think you maybe go the safe route, and then, Orji gets some packages, and then maybe ultimately he develops into that guy.
Still to come in the final hour of the show, after we talk to Andy Kennedy, ESPN has 8 teams out that can win the national championship.
In hoops or football?
In hoops.
Okay.
In basketball. The upcoming NCAA tournament, 8 teams. I'll give these guys a chance to guess it first, and then I'll tell you the correct answers because they may get them. I don't know. They may get them if I give them enough guesses. Show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher. We'll talk to Andy Kennedy on his birthday when we come back.
New York Butcher Shop, great place to stop in. Hey, if you're trying to plan lunch right now, local time, almost 11 o'clock here, stop by the New York Butcher Shop. We don't talk about those huge deli sandwiches enough. I can't finish one by myself. It's great to get eat half one, take the other half for home. Not only that, the New York Butcher Shop, you pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beefs, burgers, premium pork chops,
ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Kevin, who Greg, you replaced his roof, texts me and says, "You're letting a Florida fan date your daughter?" Can't control who they date all the times.
Go Gators.
Happy birthday to Andy Kennedy and Trent Dilfer, both UAB coaches. Andy joins the show next right here on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach, unless you haven't paid your phone bill. Then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. NextRoundLive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to NextRoundLive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com. Or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Champy's Chicken brings you this hour of the show right there on 119 in Alabaster. As you watch all the conference tournaments in the March Madness, why not swing by, see Sterling and the gang, get that good brined overnight, cooked to order Southern fried chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers. My favorite, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Those are the best kind of tamales in the world. You get them all at champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. I can't sing, or I'd sing happy birthday to Andy Kennedy. Andy Kennedy now, spry 39?
Yeah, an old 56.
Listen, don't let these good looks fool you, man. There's been a lot of miles around the track for this guy.
I've seen you turn that odometer back a time or two.
No doubt. I have unplugged that thing.
So I don't know. Were you grandfathered in drinking age 19? And if so, not to date you again, but you did unleash 56. Do you remember what that birthday was, whether it was 19 or 21?
Oh, it was definitely 21. I grew up in a dry county. Think about this now. Louisville, Mississippi, Winston County. When I was there, you had to learn how to drink and drive. You had to go across the county line. You had to go across the county line to get alcohol. Not that I know anything about that. Rumor has it. And then when I got to Ole Miss, think about this. This is crazy. I got to Ole Miss in 2006. And in Oxford, Mississippi, Ox Vegas, you could not buy cold beer. You could buy warm beer. Like if you went into a service station, you could get a 6-pack of beer, but it was going to be warm. Then you had to put it on ice. And forever and ever, they fought that. Now it's changed, thankfully. But they said that the old mayor at the time, owned all the ice machines. So that's the reason. That was the rule. That's real talk. I'm giving you some real facts here.
Hey, you'll be blown away. We were in Indianapolis for Georgia, Alabama, 3 years ago, that national championship. And we were getting ready for an NFL Sunday. So I went to a grocery store, and you can't buy cold beer in Indianapolis, massive city that is, on a Sunday.
Wonder who owns the ice machine. Look at that.
The mayor of Indianapolis.
Maybe Peyton Manning. Who knows?
That's true. That's a good point. Hey, dude, I know it's your birthday and everything, but to get 20 wins again, was that the 4th straight year you've done that since you've been at UAB?
Yeah, it is, man. And we were sitting here at 4-5 mid-December, no identity, no idea how to get this thing right. More questions than answers. And for this group, man, really proud of this group. Every team has an identity in and of itself, but I'm really proud of this group for just kind of staying the course. Shows you there's real value in perseverance. We started stringing together some wins, some tangible results. They started to believe, they started to trust, and thankfully we got to 20-11, 12-6 in our inaugural year in the AAC. I was looking at it earlier. We've beaten 8 top 100 opponents, which is the most since the 2009-2010 season at UAB. So we're playing quality people, beating quality people. Some of the things that you get when moving to the AAC, and we got the double bye. So we're sitting here not knowing who we're going to play. We're about to go to practice, just try to get some work in. There's 3 different teams that we have the possibility of playing on Friday, and my hope is that we can play good basketball and stay here a few days.
Andy Kennedy with us, courtesy of Legacy Credit Union from out in Fort Worth. Dickies Arena is the site of the American tournament. No curtains this year, baby. Is there like a sigh of relief for a college basketball coach once you get to the tournament time, or is it even more pressure? I don't know. As a coach, I mean, it feels like you almost get to reset everything right now.
It just depends. With this group, I'm honestly coming in with a pretty good mindset. I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I think this team still has a run in it. It's great to see, Yaxel Lindenborg yesterday got honored as the Defensive Player of the Year in the American Conference, first-team All-League guy, 3rd straight year we've had a first-team guy. And his involvement, Chris Coleman, Alejandro Vasquez, they're all playing good basketball. And I think Eric Gaines is coming off 2 of his maybe 3 or 4 best performances in a UAB jersey over his last 2. So we're playing good basketball right now. Knock on wood, we're somewhat healthy and whole, and we're going to go give it a shot.
Is the message for the players, though? I mean, what is that? Because there is so much pressure, or is there a ton of pressure knowing that you've got to win this tournament to keep extending the season?
Well, as a coach, you always want them to feel that sense of urgency. My grandmother used to say, you can't see the forest for the trees. I know you guys have heard that saying before. Yep. But many times throughout the course of a season, they can't see the forest for the trees. It's the grind. It's the day-to-day. It's, the monotony of the next game, and they keep coming at you so fast. Now you have a chance to really sit back and reflect on, this is what we've done. This is what we've shown capable of doing. Now the next time we lose, we'll put the balls up and this team shall be no more. we realize that we've got to win the automatic just based on our numbers and the way that they've changed the bracketing for the NIT. We realize that's a long shot. And we're not going to do one of these pay-per-play tournaments. We're either going to get into the invited ones that are NCAA tournament or NIT, or this team will be done. So there is a sense of urgency that comes with that. Hopefully our guys will respond in kind.
The reason why I like your chances, I know it's maybe an uphill battle at times, but you've beaten all the contenders, right? I mean, I love the fact that the team that's going to cut down the net is either going to be UAB or a team UAB's beaten this year.
Yeah, I think Charlotte, we didn't beat them, unfortunately, but I think there's 5 or 6 teams.
Well, they're not on my list, Andy. I was doing my list. Charlotte, to me, has no chance. They've got no chance.
They do have a chance to do this. We've shown very capable. As I said, we beat 8 top 100 teams, man. We've shown that if we take the right approach, we can play with most anyone. Looking forward to having the opportunity. I haven't – we played on Sunday. I gave them Monday off. Yesterday was a travel day because – it's kind of weird that we got here so early, but when you're balling on a budget, we had to set these airline tickets. We flew commercial up here, so we didn't know if we were playing Wednesday or Thursday based on when we had to make these reservations. So we got up here, got in the gym last night just to move around. So today will be the first day that we really have an opportunity to get a sense on where our guys' heads are. But I feel a relaxed, confident group, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in a state of relaxed, focused, and I think our group's there.
Andy Kennedy with us, courtesy of Legacy Credit Union. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Do you enjoy, I don't even know if you get time. I mean, I know you're so consumed with your games. Do you get to watch some of these smaller tournament championship games? I don't watch Siena all year or Oakland all year or Wagner all year, but you watch that game because you know how much meaning it has.
Well, I do. Just when you get an opportunity. Right now, we don't really have anybody to prepare for because we don't know who we're playing. That'll be a really quick turn. Once we find out who wins that game on Thursday afternoon. But I have had an opportunity to watch. I hadn't had a chance to watch Sanford. Shout out to Bucky and Sanford. Man, congratulations. What an incredible run. I hadn't had a chance to see them other than in pockets, 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes. I have not watched a whole game, but I sat down and I watched that whole game with my daughter, Megan, my oldest daughter, who is a proud Sanford graduate. We were sitting there pulling for Bucky, man. So proud for him, Martin Newton at university and what it does for him. So I have watched, Greg Campy and I go back 30-something years. He's been at Oakland for 40 years, and to see him culminate that with an incredible tournament victory last night to get to the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, I've crossed paths with a lot of these guys. I have guys that I watch and pull for, and, I'm a basketball Jones, so I watch as much as I can.
If you were the head coach of a 3 or 4 and you saw Sanford pop up on that line on Sunday, would you throw up right away or wait till you got to the bathroom?
Well, I'll tell you this. I remember vividly, we captured the Conference USA Tournament Championship. We fly home. We have the announcement, and I see Houston pop up on the board. We were 12, and I'm going to tell you something. You're talking about getting a little queasy, so I know that feeling.
Jelly Walker, I think he averaged 25 in 3 games in the tournament last year. Do you guys still keep in touch?
Yeah, you know what? Jelly has had a tremendous year. I'm glad you brought that up. Jelly's had a tremendous year, averaging over 20 points and about 7 assists in the G League. The G League's getting close to finishing. He actually just took a gig in China for real money. He flew to China recently, and he's trying to cash in and get paid a little bit before he comes back and tries again to make a run at the NBA. And how about our guy Trey Jemison? Last night, Trey Jemison starts for the Memphis Grizzlies against the Washington Wizards, the team that had initially signed him to a 10-day. They didn't extend him. He goes to Memphis on a 10-day, gets a 2-way, goes for 24 points and 6 rebounds, leads the Memphis Grizzlies in scoring, and it's the most points ever scored by a UAB Blazer in an NBA game.
Wow. The most.
Yeah, 20. How about that? He goes for 24 and 6, and I really believe, man, I've been in communication with him. I'm hoping this trends towards a multi-year deal before this season ends.
I did the most points by a UAB player. I'm trying to think. Back in the day, Oliver Robinson got a shot.
Yeah, there hadn't been a lot, but Elijah Millsaps had 17 in an NBA game. The brother of Paul Millsaps, who was a multi-time NBA All-Star from Louisiana Tech, played with the Hawks, was an all-star. His little brother came to UAB for 2 years, and we looked it up last night, and he had 17, and Trey had 18 at the half and finished with 24.
I knew it wouldn't be Jack Kramer, but I didn't know the guy who would give Andy the ball occasionally.
Did Alan Ogg play in the league back when 7 feet meant you got a contract?
Yeah, he played in the league a couple of years for sure.
Yeah,
Miami Heat.
So commercial flight with a basketball team. I mean,
it's a direct to DFW from Birmingham.
But I mean,
you could get direct, but you should have seen it. Those big bodies lumbering on because it was one of those smaller planes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We do that though. Again, we're balling on a budget. Anytime we can go somewhere direct on commercial, we try to do that.
Yeah, I picture me getting the in between seat with Yaks on one side of me and some other big guy on the other side.
Yeah, Javion Davis and Will Shaver in the middle aisle.
That'd be fantastic.
I've always been one of those that thinks Fort Worth is better than Dallas. So I think you're in the better of the two cities in the Metroplex.
Well, I will tell you something. We're staying in an Embassy Suites. They tell you it's like the NCAA tournament a little bit. They kind of, they assign you a hotel. And Embassy Suites, nothing against Embassy Suites, but I don't think this one's been certified in quite some time. Hence my wall. I think that's actually the nicest part of the hotel. It's a little weird where we're set up.
Hey, you'll love this. The Embassy Suites back in the day, and it used to be a big happy hour, Joanne. I don't know if you remember this, but 5 to 7 was free drinks.
Oh, I remember. At this place, I mean, I'm telling you, it's very, very odd. I'm sure it was really popping in 78.
I thought you were actually seeing your sports psychologist. I thought they were going to ask you what image you see in that piece of art behind you.
That's after the show.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, man. Yeah. I hope somebody sings to you today and buys you a cake and all that stuff on the road there in Fort Worth.
More than anything, I hope you go win a few games, and we're talking to you about your spot in the tournament next week.
That'd be fantastic, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Coach. Happy birthday. Take care.
Andy Kennedy there with us, brought to you by our friends at Legacy. SwapAndDrop.com. SwapAndDrop.com is back. It's a pretty easy program, right? You've got a auto loan, truck loan, boat loan, ATV loan, whatever, at one provider, and you swap it over to Legacy, and you get a great rate at 5.5% APR. SwapAndDrop.com. Shoot that QR code on the screen there. They do this for a short period of time every year. It is the best. SwapAndDrop.com. SwapAndDrop.com. Our friends at Legacy, 9 area branches, and a proud supporter of UAB athletics. If you've done something 7 times and 7 times in a row, it has produced the result you want. That's pretty good, right? 7 of 7.
Yeah.
Yep. John Gasway at ESPN has written 8 teams to win the national championship the last 7 years, and the national champion has come from his 8. Now, I don't know how this coincides with the chart that you and Little T have been sending out and keeping up.
I can tell you as you unveil them.
Okay. But I want LT to sort of guess for me here. And
guess, and I'll tell you if they're in the Ken Palm. So for those this is separate from what Dunaway's talking about.
This is Gasway of ESPN writes this. He is 7 for 7, and I want to see how it comes up with your list.
Okay, so in the Ken Pomeroy's basketball analytical site, every national championship since 2002 has been won by a team that finished the season. Now, this does include the NCAA tournament. I've got the number somewhere where you have to be entering the tournament. I'll find that maybe this week or next week.
Okay.
After we all turn our brackets in, so maybe I got a little bit of a chance. But at the end of the tournament, every champion has been top 25 in adjusted defensive efficiency, top 40 in adjusted offensive efficiency. They've been in both those groups, okay? So top 25 defense, top 40 offense.
Okay, so LT will make a guess. Brown will tell me if it fits his list, and then I'll tell you if it's on Gasway's list.
I think I've got 7. I think I've got
Do
7.
one at a time. Go one.
UConn.
UConn. All right, I'm going to
better be in there.
Hang on. I'm going to do this differently here. I see what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to do them alphabetically the way you're going to do it. UConn. See, they got it under Connecticut. That's the problem. That's why I couldn't find it. Am I going to need to be faster than this, Jim? Connecticut does.
A lot faster.
Connecticut does, in fact, meet the criteria.
Boy, you gave me a lot of drama on pick 1.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was looking for UConn, and it's under Connecticut. That's why I couldn't find it.
UConn is on the list.
Okay, so we're 1 for 1.
Yeah. Seems like 10 for 1.
Good job, Rockstar.
Houston.
Easy. They're number 1 defensively, number 11 offensively.
Houston is on Gasway's list. Boom.
Purdue.
The Purdue Boilermakers are on the list.
And they're on Gasway's list. 3 for 3.
Purdue is 20th defensively and first offensively. They're barely in defensively now.
firmly on the list. That
Well, and I think Matt Painter is the major factor here. I feel good about my first SEC is going to be Tennessee.
Tennessee is on the list, 3rd defensively, 25th offensively.
Tennessee is on the Gasway list, too, 4 for 4.
Probably going by this, but anyway.
Arizona.
Lance, Arizona is on the list, 16 defensively, 8th offensively.
Gasway's list does include Arizona.
This is where it starts getting tricky. So we've got 5.
That's fine. We need 2 more. Is that all we're looking for?
We need 3 more.
Brown, 8.
I am going to go with the North Carolina Tar Heels.
North Carolina, Jim Dunaway is on the list, 5th defensively, 26th offensively.
North Carolina is not on the list over here. Drama.
Damn, I didn't even really take that deep. I would throw in Auburn and Kansas then.
Auburn and Kansas, both. Actually, Kansas is not on the KenPom list. They're 48th offensively.
Yeah.
Now, they could probably play their way in the top.
I wonder if you did it with McCullers in that lineup.
Yeah.
I bet they're in there.
Neither Auburn or Kansas are on the Gasway list.
Give it to us.
Auburn, 6th defensively, 13th offensively.
Iowa State on there?
Arizona is there. UConn is there. Repeating the ones LT got right. Houston is there. Purdue is there. Tennessee is there. LT, you did not give us Creighton.
Nope.
On
the list, 21st defensively, 10th offensively.
You did not give us that other team in North Carolina, Duke.
On the list, 22nd defense, 7th offense.
I just don't see it.
I don't either.
The 8th team that's on Gasway's list in no particular order, Big Blue Nation, the Kentucky Wildcats.
See, I didn't think defensively, I know it's not going to be in your metric. That's why I left them out.
They are not.
If you gave me 8 teams against field, Kentucky would be one of the first teams I'd put in there.
I would tell you that the analyst who I heard talking last night, I didn't catch his name because I caught it mid-interview when I was driving home.
Was it Dallin Cuff?
It may have been Dallin. It could be. I was on the show he's on. He was talking about how this Kentucky team is reminding him of an earlier Golden State team, I guess when Draymond played bigger or they had a bigger guy inside, that they play a lot like that Golden State team. They are shooting threes at a great level.
95th defensively, though. That's what kills them. Now, they are 6th offensively in KenPom, but 95th defensively. Can I give you a couple that...
But they have awoke.
Awakened.
Yes. Awakened.
They're awoke.
The bear has been poked in his cave and he has creeped out.
Yeah. I wasn't correcting him. Awoke is correct as well. I was just going awakened is a different version of that, Brown.
Thanks, Jim. One team that you did not mention that does qualify on KenPom, and Jimmy Dunaway likes them a lot, is Marquette.
Marquette, thank you.
You're welcome, Jim. 19th offensively, 18th defensively for Marquette.
That's
so
just good basketball.
They're right in the middle.
Tyler
good basketball.
Kolek has got to come back and be 100% for them to do anything.
Tyler Kolek.
But otherwise, we have mentioned everybody that qualifies under the KenPom, Kentucky being the lone outlier that does not.
Our friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill LT, and we'll get to trash and a special video LT has in our next segment.
205-229-2090. Make that phone call. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. Again, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
You want me to give you a surprising team that's not that far off in KenPom?
Surprising team that's not that far off in KenPom.
They're too far off defensively. They make the criteria offensively.
Other than Alabama, surprisingly.
No, Alabama's way off defensively.
Another team is Florida.
St. John's.
St. John's.
Okay.
You know,
again, shotgun, axe, whatever you guys want to take
no,
off.
I'm with you, but the guy can coach.
Jay said earlier that Louisville should look at that up-and-coming coach at St. John's as their next coach. By the way, basketball going on tonight and throughout the day. It's that time. Lance'sLock.com. Lance'sLock.com. He gives you plays there.
Got 7 up today, Dunaway.
7's up there today. You can go get that. Enjoy your picks there with Lance'sLock.com. Go play them with our friends at MyBookie.ag. Some NBA tonight includes a little Golden State. We mentioned them at Dallas. Luka's been on a triple-double run lately. He's been amazing.
I think he had at one point 5 or 6 consecutive 30-point triple-doubles.
Yeah, 6 in a row 30-point triple-doubles. That may have ended maybe last night, but he was on a roll. And remember that guy who worked for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Urban Meyer?
Amit Patel.
Oh, yeah, the guy that sold all the tickets.
The guy that embezzled $22 million. He got sentenced yesterday. How long do you think he got sentenced?
$22 million embezzlement. I'm going to say he got...
He's only got to pay $21 million of it back.
Okay, that's a good deal. Yeah, he had a great attorney. 12 years.
I would think that he got... I think he's up for parole in 36 months, and then he's going to have some house arrest. This is very white collar. It's a lot of money, though.
6.5 years imprisonment.
He'll be out in 3.
$21 million he's got to repay. And it turns out, now we gave you a couple of the cool things that he did, like he...
hope he wasn't a spender.
Took everybody on a world trip.
Okay, he was a spender.
And the weirdest thing he paid for was $4,000 he paid for a Trevor Lawrence game-worn jersey. He worked for the Jaguars. Could he not steal one?
Yeah,
he was an embezzler already.
Yeah.
Why would you pay for that? But about $20 million, if I read it correctly, was spent on gambling. At DraftKings and FanDuel.
Because they were trying to get it back from DraftKings and FanDuel.
Well, if there's, when somebody's embezzling, there typically is a vice that is on the heels of that, whether it is, dude's addicted to cocaine, gambling, there is something there typically.
He told the judge he didn't need the money.
Yeah, I just took it. I didn't need it.
All right. When we come back, we'll roll on here. This is TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Hey, before we get to that video, and before I tell you about the Autograph app again, and listen, if you haven't downloaded, please do that. Go to the Autograph app. But I do want to remind you that the Meltdown is at 2 o'clock today, Monday through Friday, with John Lunsford and Tim Melton. It's on right here on the TNR YouTube page. If you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. You'll see a button below the Meltdown logo. 2 o'clock every day live for an hour. Ryan Brown was on yesterday's episode, and you can go check that out. Taylor Korn is Uncorked. Will be debuting pretty soon. Taylor Korn is Uncorked on the Disrupt the Media YouTube page. Like and subscribe over there, over that YouTube channel. Taylor Korn is Uncorked. You can go check that. And Rockstars Lounge comes back this Friday, sponsored by our friends at the Floribama. So
Exciting.
Rockstar this Friday.
Good song?
Yeah, is it good? I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm going to try to mix things up a little bit this year.
All right, a little rap.
Do a lot of Asian stuff.
Can you do me one Zach Bryan song?
He will not take a request from me.
At some point this summer. Because I think you could take Zach Bryan's lyrics and put your little spin to it. Work pretty
I
good.
do find out that I have to sing at a wedding and I have to sing a Kenny Chesney song, so I got to learn that.
Oh, no.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So no. What is it?
Oh, it's like something like "Say I Do." I mean, it's.
I'm going to tell you this: it's not going to be your most challenging work.
Well, I know, that's why I was like, but I like to look like him too.
Jennifer and I were at lunch with a couple that are friends of ours that both graduated from Vestavia, and the husband said, "How is Sean Henniger doing?" And I just laughed. I was like, I never hear anybody call him that, but Rockstar's doing great. And the wife said, I vividly remember that concert that he did at our school. She was 2 years in front of you. She graduated Vestavia 2 years before you would have.
I don't know which concert she's talking about.
She said you did. I think she said you did a Three Doors Down song, or was it Goo Goo Dolls, or Matchbox 20? No, it was Matchbox 20.
I thought you did it in like Umbros and a Superman shirt.
That's the one she's talking about.
No, that was
the
eighth
braided
grade.
belt. Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
That was my first concert. We did My Friends by the Chili Peppers and Not For You by Pearl Jam.
Okay,
it was after the gymnastics team from the high school had to move the mats, so we had two songs.
I thought she said Matchbox 20. Did you do a Matchbox 20 one time?
No, it was Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam.
That was it, though. But she said she vividly remembers it.
Game changer.
LT's video, after I tell you about the Autograph app, your time to level up your fandom with the Autograph app is here now. Co-founded by Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content. I was looking at it before the show today. It's really amazing. Exciting fan challenges and exclusive rewards there. I mean, think about crazy discounts on tickets. You can get that at the Autograph app, limited edition merchandise. Just look at this. Autograph also hooked up Arkansas and Alabama tickets for $16 a pop for a handful of local folks who went to the game this past weekend. Now, that's what you call true fan pricing right there. $16 a head to get into that game. If you're ready to join the party, all you have to do is download the free Autograph app today and use the promo code TNR. You see it on the screen there, promo code TNR, and then you get the exclusive access. And more awesomeness is coming up for the tournament. And also, they're sponsoring our coverage of the SEC tournament on social media up in Nashville. Taylor Korn will be up there covering the tournament for you, all brought to you by our friends at Autograph. Go download the app today.
Louisville has made it official, by the way, before we get to that video, that Kenny Payne is out. Nobody is surprised by that. They at least let the dust settle.
Louisville ends the pain.
No more House of Pain.
I've got a feeling he is really relieved.
Kenny Payne?
He is,
yeah, being so
tough.
beat up for a school he loves.
Better headline, Pain Relief. Way to go, LT.
Yeah.
I like it. So you have a new dog video that's crazy?
Yeah, I know my dog love drives you guys crazy sometimes, but they had done 10
Us
miles.
Or the audience?
No, not the audience. The audience loves dogs.
Okay.
The majority of the audience. I'm just talking about you two. So they had done 10 miles each yesterday, and I'm trying to nestle in, watch some college basketball last night, and this is what they did. And this has been edited a little bit, but
oh my gosh,
this is every night, and this is after 10 miles each.
This was the AFC Championship game.
This is 30 minutes straight, though.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough.
Right into the camera there.
Is the one that runs into the camera the one that...
it's the one that was in the woods in Northport.
Yeah, so is that the one that is the reincarnated Pol Pot? Who was it she compared it to?
No. The
Genghis
other
Khan.
one, the one that's about to tackle with the yellow collar is Chili. She's the one that is reincarnated as Genghis Khan. She had a terrier's trachea in her jaws last week, so we had to leave the dog park because of that. But
yeah,
the
one by my house.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Are you banned for life?
No, because that dog bit Bullet, and so Chili had Bullet's back. So everything got cleared up, but we decided it was probably best to tap out.
Did they have to go under the hood and look?
No, it was pretty obvious, but I was afraid for a minute that Chili was going to kill that dog. And these are sweet, good temperament dogs.
Can I get Forrester's microphone real quick? Because I know Rockstar's answers. Forrester, how much money to have those two dogs that you would have to run every day, 10 miles before that, doing that in your house, having to take them to batting practice, cheer practice, volleyball practice with you? How much?
I don't think that kind of.
That is some energy.
I don't know the prices. I don't think those would.
But don't they usually do 5 miles? That's after a 10 mile.
No.
Each?
Yeah, they did 18 each a couple of weeks ago in one day at that park.
So they are just unlimited. They never run out of gas.
Well, Keith said these videos assure me that I will never have this breed, which I get. The unfortunate thing is, so Chili's been rehomed 3 times now, and Bullet, I have no idea the history of Bullet. He was found in the woods, but people don't do their deep dives on what the breeds are all about, and you get a breed like that, and it drives you crazy. But if you know what you're getting into, and I'll give my ex-wife Bethany credit, she was the first to bring Vizslas up, and then she saw the video, and she's like, hell no, when she saw him doing zoomies and digging and stuff. But, I like to be active and exercise, so I thought it'd be a good breed.
Yeah. Well,
but they're trying. They're a pain in the ass, but they're awesome.
It's time for trash. Hit the big button, Rocky.
What is this? Waves in opposition. Anita Dick is an opponent. Waves in opposition. Holden Hiscock is also an opponent.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. It's a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being. They can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every single step of the process. Visit their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply. MortgageRight.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239. Equal housing lender. Missing Florida woman was found alive and safe on Thursday after banging on the door of a shipping container she was trapped in. This seems like one of the worst scenarios of all time. Being in a dark shipping container, you hear the boat pulling out of port and you have no idea where you're going.
Well, I'm going to need the backstory.
I don't know how this...
We don't have a backstory?
Well, yeah, we do have a backstory,
okay.
But I'm saying... That probably happens a lot.
Yeah, was she apprehended and stuffed in there? Tell me the story.
So here we go. ClickOrlando.com says Marlene Lopez was reported missing on Wednesday. She was found the next day just before noon in a shipping container next to a business. Now, Lopez, 52, was trapped in the container for almost 72 hours. When asked what happened, said she didn't know. Quote, I was in one place, found in another. Yvonne Martinez, public information officer for the Cocoa Police Department, told WESH Lopez was slightly not in a good state of mind where we could talk to her and get good information. She said people who own the shipping container ended up going in to secure it for the night, not knowing she was in there.
But why were you in there?
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
She described it as case of wrong place, wrong time. Nobody knew she was in there.
I would say.
You wonder, though, the cartel, I know there's like, the sex trafficking.
That's what I'm asking. Did she get apprehended and put into the container?
I think so.
But if I told you we're going to ship you to New Zealand and I'm going to give you enough water and just basic rations where you can survive, but you're in that dark container until you get to New Zealand, what is your price on that?
Also, you got the motion of the ocean.
You puke nonstop.
How long is that going to take me, you think?
See, I don't know.
Flight's like 18 hours.
I know.
So
the boat
ride's longer than that.
I mean, I would think it'd be a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's days.
Yeah, we're going to do some commas.
I've got a friend who's about to, he builds boats down in Mobile Bay, and he's about to take a ferry that they built in Mobile Bay around Key West up to somewhere in Maine, I believe. And it's going to take 2 full weeks.
Like he's just delivering it?
He's delivering the ship they built
Right.
in Mobile Bay all the way to
Maine.
To Maine.
How about that?
And he and I are good friends. And I was like, God, if I had 2 weeks and no obligations, I'd love
ride
it.
with you.
I'd ride with you.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
I need to send Forrester this other picture. A buddy of mine sent me this text, and I think it was from the TPC. I guess this is on the St. Johns River. But Stan Kroenke, is Baker's Bay? Is that
no, that's down in the Bahamas.
Okay, well, this is Baker's Bay, Stan Kroenke's boat. It's ridiculous.
But this is like a ferry, and I just thought to myself, Man, we could sit there. We get golf balls into the ocean.
Yeah.
We could lay out
it's
and
all fun and
tan,
games.
drink, and eat the whole trip up there.
It's all fun and games.
Got to occasionally pull into port and refuel, right?
So, do you guys ever text your kids when they're at school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I got the headline here, why you should stop texting your kids at school. When Jack gets to school every morning, he texts me, and then we'll text a little bit in between. He watches the show sometimes.
Yeah.
At school?
Yeah.
My daughter has done that before.
Yeah, I mean, they get to creep around on their phone nonstop.
I think it's actually, I know there are some drawbacks to having their phones at school, but I think it's safer to have them. I think it's worth the drawbacks.
I mean, boy, I
calling
can't.
911, things like that. I mean, I can track my kids on my phone. I know exactly where they are all the time.
Right. Eventually, they got to learn the discipline of when you can look at your phone and can't lose your phone anyway.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do it at work.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so Virginia high school teacher Joe Clement keeps track Damon at $43 million, and Ben Affleck was fifth with $38 million. And finally, people reveal flexes that instead of impressing them, it makes them cringe. Declaring yourself an alpha male.
Yeah, if you have to say it, you're not.
Yeah,
Is that the understanding?
Yeah, most of these are kind of cringeworthy. Yeah. The next one, not doing something like not watching a popular show or not drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
I've started to drink
never really.
iced coffee just to really get awake in the
right about that. I don't know that.
Jim, I'm sure we will get them from you. You beat me in this. How you won your fantasy league?
Finally, this year was the only one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that people that talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I won my fantasy.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, who do mortgages the right way. Call them today, 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
And our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go check them out. Sterling and the crew will take care of you. It is Champy's world famous fried chicken. Back in a moment.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual swap and drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with Walk-Ons.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision.
Walker,
Oh,
2,160.
yeah.
So there's a
It's
chance
so easy when
Votto-
you say it.
Yeah, Votto will end up passing him. And now to the NFL, where Patrick Mahomes reworks his contract, freeing up $20 million or a little more than that for cap space for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this was, the deal you had to get done with Chris Jones. I mean, Pat Mahomes is making a ton of money. They'll get creative. They'll find a way to do this. But L'Jarius Sneed, a lot of people believe maybe the best cornerback right now in the NFL. And then Chris Jones, one of, if not the best defensive tackle right now in football. You needed to free that money up to keep those guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Patrick Queen is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Big move from Baltimore to Pittsburgh in division, and he's a difference maker.
Yeah, former LSU standout. I like Patrick Queen a lot. And a little surprised that, this was cap victim.
Yep. And then that gets me to the Cowboys question. Remember when Jerry Jones said that the Cowboys were going to be all in this year, that we're going to be all in? What have the Cowboys done here so far?
I think he's been all in every year, right?
Yeah, but no, he made a recommitment that we're going to be all in.
As you said, before the grave.
Yeah, we're gonna go do it, and and this is the year we're all in to win a Super Bowl in Dallas.
What have they done?
They've lost Tony Pollard, and they have not done anything.
I was reading an article. I think it was Pro Football Focus. I read a couple this morning, and Pro Football Focus, I believe, was the one that had them as one of the biggest losers. Them and the Bills. The Bills have lost some things and haven't really added anything. I think those are the two biggest losers I saw.
Well, when you have the talent that's floating around in free agency, if you don't do anything, if you just hold, sometimes you're losing at that point.
That's right, yeah.
And that's pretty much what they've done. I mean, Pollard is one of those losses, but they just hadn't done it. I mean, they just haven't been active.
Yeah, so that's some NFL news. It'll continue to be crazy coming up over the next few days or so. All right, it is SEC basketball tournament time up in Nashville, and we will be up there thanks to our friends at Autograph starting Friday with our coverage. That's when Auburn and Alabama get going. Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, all with the double byes. Action starts tonight, Vandy and Arkansas. Good chance Arkansas season is over tonight because Vandy, for some reason, started playing a little bit better basketball last couple of games.
Yeah, I think Arkansas is kind of a sizable favorite. What is it right now? 6.5?
I think it was 6.5 when I first looked. I'll look again, though. I'll get you an
I
updated
think
number.
Missouri's actually got the better shot of the upset today.
Yeah,
Talking first about Vanderbilt, no chance of Stackhouse being fired, or you think they'll move on?
I don't know. I mean, the record would tell you it's time to fire the guy.
Well, let me ask you this. If, in fact, they did, is Bucky McMillan in the mix for that job?
I think you'll see his name mentioned. Now, some of this is going to depend on what he does in the NCAA tournament. Like, if he wins a game, he gets on a lot of radars. If they shock the world to make the Sweet 16, he's on a lot more radars.
I think getting there, though, he is on radars. And you're right, winning one game typically gets these guys jobs. DePaul would be an interesting job.
I mean, Stackhouse, by the way, the number is 6, to answer Lance's question. Arkansas's favorite 6. Stackhouse's numbers at Vanderbilt, 70 and 91 overall, 28 and 60 in conference. I mean, he's had one good year, 22 and 15 last year, 11 and 7. I just don't know how you make a case to keep him. I mean, that's one winning record in the conference, and every other conference record has been awful.
Yeah, and I heard there's other stuff going on there. I don't know how legitimate that is, but that could play
I just
a
know
factor.
the other coaches usually rave about his actual coaching.
Yeah, but it's
bringing in the talent. Surprising to me that he hasn't brought in better talent.
A little. I'm not totally surprised. I just wonder what their NIL is like at Vanderbilt.
Right.
You know, there's just not that commitment that you would have at a bigger program. But to quote Bill Parcells, at some point you are what your record says you are. And you could talk about how good he is at coaching, how good he is at other things. He's 70 and 91, 28 and 60 in conference. And at some point that's who you are.
But the real question I wanted to ask is Eric Musselman. Not that he would be fired. He's done so much, but it's been such a disappointing season. It has almost felt like he is a guy that almost had other plans after this year anyway.
Are you talking about Louisville?
Louisville's open. We've known Louisville's going to come open since back before the season started. Is he a guy you would really consider at a place like Louisville?
Well, let me ask you this.
Or if, say, the Arizona coach goes to Louisville, would you consider him at Arizona?
Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah. Or if Mick Cronin leaves wherever Mick Cronin is, UCLA, and goes to Louisville, would you consider him at UCLA?
No, I think you would consider Musselman at UC or at Louisville. Because you look at Musselman, before this year, it was Elite 8, Sweet 16.
This is the first year he's missed the tournament at Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, if he was 25 and what would that put him at? 25-6 right now, and they were squarely in as like a 2 or 3 seed, I think everybody would be talking about Musselman. He's had an off year. Internally, I don't know what's going on with that program. It has been really bad, but I think it's kind of the outlier. Musselman's a tough guy to like, but I think the guy can coach.
Let me ask you this. 110-58 overall. 65% winning clip there. 110-58 overall. In conference, he's coached 89 games. How many do you think he's won?
In conference, he's coached 89 games at Arkansas. I say he's won 63.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Would you have said more?
I would have said more, but the SEC is so much better
he's
now.
At 47. He's barely above 500 in conference
and maybe
play.
that's what I would look at. Like the
so
SEC,
good in the tournament.
Yeah,
the SEC has really become a deep conference this year, really. And you wonder if there's any correlation with him falling off now that everybody's got
let me give you Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl's numbers in that same window. All right, because Nate Oates and
I want to get Bruce Pearl as a whole thing here. Can I just react real quick on Mick Cronin?
Yeah.
David says buyout is $20 million. I'm not saying that they would fire Mick Cronin at UCLA. I'm saying Mick would leave UCLA to go to Louisville if he's in the mix there, which would negate
much
that
better
buyout
job
situation.
So 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 for Musselman in 4 years, and he's 47-42 in conference. Nate Oates is 62-28 in 5 years.
Oh, I thought that's who you asked me, Nate Oates.
No, I asked you. Musselman. I got you. 62-28.
But who's had the better results?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got 2 Sweet 16s out of Nate Oates, pretty good.
I don't know if anybody over the last 4 years has had more success than Musselman in the SEC.
In the NCAA tournament.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he's basically 500 in conference.
Then Brown hit me with something that surprised me about Bruce Pearl. Because my perception of Bruce Pearl is he's good in the tournament, right?
Wisconsin, Milwaukee got him with that upset, got him a job.
He got the Sweet 16 that year.
Tennessee had a little run, but I think his final look at Tennessee, they got bombarded.
But even at Auburn, I just picked. Well, they went to the Final Four, but it ends up it's just that 1 year. Give me the numbers.
I said this the other day, and as I said it, I'm like, man, I just don't remember it being this way. He's been bounced 3 times in the round of 32. They've got the one Final Four run, but he's never made it past the first weekend outside that Final Four run. And it just seems like he has done phenomenal things at Auburn. It just seems like they've had more deeper runs than that. Just the perception of it
When we were talking about Buzz Williams earlier and how difficult the A&M job must be, when Bruce took this job, we would have all said – the 14th, the most difficult job in the SEC
without doubt
is Auburn. Yeah, it's not even close. So, I think that shows you, although it hasn't played out what he's been able to do in March, still, the way he's turned this program around, it's crazy.
Overall in his career, he's finished the season in the Sweet 16 3 times, the Elite 8 once, and the Final Four once. So he's had some deep runs. But everything outside that Final Four was at Tennessee or Milwaukee. At Auburn, he's never made it past the round of 32 except for that one trip to the Final Four.
Give me what Nate's done in the NCAA tournament.
Two Sweet 16s and a bounced one and done.
One and done. Does that count Buffalo?
No, it does not count Buffalo, Jim. Yeah. At Buffalo, one and done and 2 round of 32s.
2 round of 32s.
Yeah. So he's never made it past the Sweet 16.
Yeah. If I asked you about Bruce Pearl coming up in this tournament, do you feel like what I asked Stephen yesterday, that this may be his best team on paper going into the tournament, maybe even better than a Final Four team?
You're going to have to get really good guard play, though, because I think what you're going to get from Broome and Williams, I think that's consistent. But, Denver Jones hitting 7 threes the other day, you're probably not going to get that. But if you get some of that, then you could make kind of a magical run. I think Auburn overall, they're confident, they're well-rounded. It's a good team.
Appreciate Dane Bradshaw being with us. He joined the show early to talk about the SEC tournament, which gets going tonight. 6 o'clock SEC Network, Vandy and Arkansas, followed 20 minutes after that by Missouri and Georgia. And then 4 games tomorrow on the SEC Network, and then Auburn and Alabama finally play on Friday, coming up in Nashville as we get ready for the postseason. Games going on everywhere on the bracket right now, on every channel for basketball. Thank you to our friends at Bud Light from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio. We're back with you at 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.